Oh, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't realize I was on the I was on the muted. So anyway, glad everyone's here. I guess I'll start over. This is an update cast. I haven't done a cast for a while. I've been super busy. The business is doing well. We got a lot of things going on at the house. I'm looking at buying a new business. There's a lot of things going on. So I haven't talked about politics. I haven't been doing the regular stream that I normally would do. So I appreciate everyone hanging out. And like I said, I'll answer all you guys' questions and I'll shoot the breeze whatever you guys want to talk about. I just got back from the casino this afternoon. Had a good time there. Got my blue boo and I'm ready to shoot the shit with everyone. So let's do it. I got a bunch of things written down. I'll give you guys a quick update on exactly what's going on. You guys let me know what's going on with your lives. I really enjoy doing the stream with you guys. I enjoy doing the cast and hearing what everyone is doing, what everyone's got going on, and all the people that supported this cast for a long time. Again, I really appreciate it. And sorry, guys, I've been super busy. I got a lot of cool things to talk to you guys about and let you know exactly what's going on in my life and in the business, the Resplendent Crow, making furniture in America today, the economy, all these kind of things. I'm happy to talk about it. So let's do this in real quick. So Bunny Bombs here. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate being here. This is Curtis East. I haven't seen you before. You're muted. Thanks, dude. See, all better. Put mute on. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate our meeting. Let's get into it. So, I'll give you guys a quick update on my life, the business, kind of what's going on, and then we'll jump into politics. I'm happy to talk about the politics. Truth is, if you guys, when it comes to politics, I'm super unmotivated to talk about politics right now, just because nothing's real. You know, our president. Again, a 3-time Trump voter here. Our president's a fucking piece of shit. He doesn't do anything he says he's going to do, and he just continues to talk out of both sides of his mouth, and he's doing that with the intent of eventually thinking he's going to get a victory, and then he'd be like, oh, that's my negotiating tactic, and it's bullshit. Nobody can operate that way, guys. A president can't operate that way. You can't lead a country that way. As a business owner, I can never talk to my customers that way. I can never talk to my family that way. And this guy treats everyone like their children, and he's just going to continue to do this kind of thing, and it really frustrates me as, like I said, as a normal guy who has to pay a shit ton in taxes. I'm very frustrated with what's going on there. So here you go. Here's the update, guys. So Curtis Easton says you're new. Okay, Curtis Easton, for those of you guys who don't know, my name is Eric Wilkham. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company. We make custom and production USA-made American furniture, right? We've been doing it for about 10 years now. We've got, I think, about 11 employees. It's a great way to make money. Not the easiest job in the world, but it's a good way to go to work every day, feel good about what you did, get to see what you did. I train people, I manage people. We ship things all over the country. We have to do marketing. We have to do lots of design and engineering. I talked to you guys about working with AutoCAD, working with SolidWorks, working with Vectric, all these different kinds of programs. And this is how a normie dude who never graduated high school is able to make a decent living, you know? So other things that have been going on in this business is looking to buy a company. So we're looking at purchasing a company in Florida, right? So we're in St. Louis, Missouri. We found a company that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a company that there's a lot of synergies involved. They sell a lot of design services. They work with really well-off customers like we do. They have a lot of fabrics. They do a lot of home remodels and things like that. So we're looking at purchasing that company, you know. So if you guys want to know about working with the SBA, you want to know what it takes to actually acquire a multi-million-dollar company, happy to talk to you guys about that and all the bullshit that goes with trying to buy another company in another state, you know. So I'm dealing with a lot of that. We're making a lot of really cool pieces of furniture. If you go on the resplendentcrow.com on Instagram, or excuse me, go to resplendentcrow.com, you can see the furniture. Go to Instagram, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, all these kind of places. We're everywhere. We got a massive presence online. We got probably 100,000 followers on Instagram. And we're always making stuff, guys. Like, I'm always building new furniture. I'm always teaching people how to make things. I'm always trying to hire new people. And truth is, running a business, guys, it's a lot of work, man. It's a ton of work. And I just haven't had the time to do the updates. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about, let you guys know exactly what's going on there. So I wrote down a bunch of notes here. We'll go through this stuff, and then we'll talk politics. You guys want to talk politics? We'll talk. If people generally like to talk about that kind of stuff from a normie's point of view. So how's the furniture industry doing? So truth is, guys, the furniture industry as a whole is doing really good. We're in a massive K-shaped economy right now, right? So if you're middle class, you're kind of moving like this. You're just kind of moving on a horizontal plane. If you're wealthy, your wealth is growing at a geometric rate, right? You're making a lot of money. Stock market's booming. Wealthy people are selling things to other wealthy people. It's a great time to sell to wealthy people because they're getting the bulk of the money. And so that's what we're doing. We're seeing a lot of furniture sales. I'm selling a lot of faux bamboo furniture, selling a lot of custom furniture. I'm making tables. I'm making custom exterior panels for massive mega mansions. We're doing a lot of cool work, here at the Resplendent Crow, and it's a cool little business, So sales are doing good. I don't have a lot of complaints. There's a lot of volatility in the sales cycle. So 1 month I'll do 100,000 in revenue, another month I'll do 150,000 in revenue, and then the third month I'll do 50,000 in revenue. So there's a lot of ups and downs and ebbs and flows in the sales cycle, and it is what it is. Summer is generally a slow time of year for furniture business because a lot of those wealthy people, they're going on vacation, right? They're in Europe. They're over in, traveling over to Spain, places like that. They're, out in whatever, doing their summer plans. They're not thinking about furniture so much. What's going to happen is right around September, October, the wealthy people, they're going to come back from vacation and they're going to go, oh shit, we got people coming for Thanksgiving. We got people coming for Christmas. We got to get these rooms done, right? We got to get the living room looking good. We got to get the dining room looking good. We got guests coming. We need our guest rooms to be looking good. The foyer needs to look better because we got a lot of people going to be coming in for the holidays, and we need to get this shit done. So they start calling up their designers. They start calling up people like me who make all this furniture, and we get cracking, and it's going to be gangbusters. Basically through to probably December, we'll be delivering shit tons of furniture right up until Thanksgiving. That's really where it starts to kind of slow down a little because the orders have come in for the stuff to be delivered during Christmas. So that's the sales cycle. It's very busy, and we're seeing a lot of things going on. I've nearly doubled my sales force, or excuse me, my workforce this year, and it's been busy. Trying to train people. I've said it all the time, like. Trying to train people is one of the hardest things to do as a business owner. You just get, I would say you get sick of dealing with fucktards, but you kind of get, it starts to weigh on you, right? It's like I've noticed that I've started losing my patience quite a bit. When I first start hiring people, I'm pretty open and willing to train people. I'm pretty open to trying to get people to do these jobs so that I don't have to deal with them, to get people to train other people. But after 4 or 5 months of dealing with it, you're just like, man, motherfucker, like, start working, do this job, learn from so-and-so, and if you can't do it, guess what? You're fired. Like, I'm just going to move through employees so I can find the employees that will do the work the way I want it done. And so it can get a little bit tiresome, but whatever, it is what it is. Sales are good, so we're doing really we're doing a lot of sales, and it's good. We're doing a lot of new products and things like that, and life is going pretty good in that regard, So notes I wrote down sales. I told you guys about that. I wrote down buying a business. I kind of told you about that. I'm training new hires, kind of a pain in the butt. Other things, a kitchen remodel. So another thing that's taking a ton of my time, guys, is that those of you guys that have followed me for a long time, you'll know that I've started a kitchen remodel. And again, we have a massive house. It overlooks the Mississippi River. It's a massive kitchen. And I've started building all the cabinets for it. I've moved all the electrical, which has been just a massive job. I'm not an electrician, so I've been taking down walls, moving electricity around, getting switches to work for sconces, getting switches to work for in-cabinet lighting, moving plumbing for, pot fillers and in-cabinet plumbing and all these kind of things. And so I'm doing a lot of that. I built all the cabinets for the most part, and I'm ready to go. So now we're going to we need to mud and tape all of the drywall, which I finished up today. And then we're going to start putting in paper, right? So we're going to put in wallpaper. So the entire back of the kitchen, right, is going to be probably like a Schumacher type wallpaper. It's going to be beautiful. And then we're going to cover the front of it with 1/4-inch Lexan, right? Or polycarbonate. I don't know, there's several, acrylic, is another name for it. We're going to cover all of it with that. We've got big brass sheets going behind the range. So my wife went and bought a Lacorn range. These things are like $15,000. They're fucking stupid expensive, but she wanted it. We bought a $10,000 refrigerator and I think about a $3,000 oh God, what do you call it? A dishwasher. Anyway, the numbers are stacking up, right? And you'll say, well, God, Eric, why are you buying this stuff? You're kind of bragging. Well, who would buy these kind of things? Well, the reason we buy this kind of stuff is it's all a write-off. Every bit of it, guys. So when you buy these really expensive products, because we're building the cabinets, we do the lacquered finish, we do the brass hardware, which we manufacture. It's all a write-off, guys. And this is one of the things I've told you guys for years at this point when I do these casts. There's ways that you can build a life and you can create a business to where your entire life is essentially a write-off. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. Our entire home is a massive write-off. It's a massive marketing machine for our business, and it works out great. So that's one of the things we're doing. So we're doing this massive kitchen remodel. It's a lot of work, but again, it's going good. So real happy with that. I'm happy to post pictures. We can do a live stream. You guys want to see it? Put it in the comments or in the chat, and I'll be happy to show you guys exactly what I got going on there. All right, so see, Curtis says what? Curtis, see, I'm training an employee. What is something you're having challenged with in terms of what you wish your new hires would grasp immediately? Well, the truth is that like the work that I generally train people for as a furniture maker is sometimes I train people to build furniture, right, which is different. But what I'm training for people now is I'm training people to sand and finish furniture, right? So most people, when they think of sanding and finishing furniture, generally you're going to make your furniture out of whatever, walnut, maple, cherry, something like that. And you're going to put a clear coat on it. Maybe you're going to stain it. Maybe you're going to tone it. Maybe you're going to put a wipe on poly. There's a lot of different kinds of finishes. What we do is we paint furniture, right? So my company is known for having a high gloss lacquer coating. It's very well known around America, really. And the finish process for our furniture is very different than what most people do. So what I struggle with is getting employees to understand how a sander really works. Like a lot of people think that their job is to turn the sander up as high as it'll go as far as the speed standpoint, and then just move it as fast as possible, right? And that's not what we're trying to do. You're trying to get people to understand that the sander does the work, right? You're trying to get concepts understood of what's called pulling and dragging, right? Or pushing and dragging. So a lot of people don't understand that when you kick a sander up to whatever its fastest setting, you have to get that sander to move at a certain rate, right? What's called line speed, right? You got to get that thing to move at a specific line speed, depending on the speed of the sander. If you slow that sander down and you maintain that fast line speed, what you're doing is you're dragging the sander, which essentially means that you're putting scratches in the finish, right? You're putting scratches in the wood, you're putting scratches in the primer, all these kind of things. So I struggle with getting people to understand this concept. And because our finish works like this, guys, so you take a piece of, like, say we build a piece of furniture out of cherry wood, right? Cherry is not the finish. We build it out of cherry because cherry is a very tight grained wood, right? It's very closed, the pores are very closed, and it's very good at being painted, right? So what we do is we take that cherry wood, we sand it down with 220, right? We're going to look for imperfections. We're going to fill those imperfections with Bondo, right? And we use something called U-POL, right? Which is not like a traditional Bondo. It's a very fine, closed pore edge fill or void filler. Anyway, we're going to fill with that. We're then going to sand it again with 220, right? And then we're going to take it into our spray booth. We're going to then spray it with a high build vinyl sealer, which is essentially a primer, right? We're going to build it up with that high build vinyl product. We're going to take it back, sand it. We're going to sand it again. This time we're going to sand it with 320, right? We're sanding with 320, and again, that process, that line speed, just because you turn your sander up all the way, we use Festool sanders, but just when you turn that sander up all the way, doesn't mean you just do this, right? You have to move it in such a way that that sander is working that primer down as it's supposed to, right? The sander is doing the work, not the sander. The tool is doing the work, not the guy holding the tool. So I really struggle with getting people to understand this concept of dragging a sander. And so those are some of the things that I deal with when it comes to finish work. Also, once we prime it, right, we sand it down to 320. We then send in the spray with, again, we spray a nitrocellulose lacquer. And we're going to put a generous coat of nitrocellulose lacquer on there. We're going to let stuff dry. And then we're going to send it back to sanding for a third time. That sander then needs to sand a high gloss lacquer coating, right? We're going to do that with 320 as well. And we're going to sand it. And again, I don't want him pushing the sander too fast. I don't want him pulling the sander too fast because we create swirl marks, right? So we'll do all that. And these are the things that I deal with when it comes to teaching sanders how to do this job. And the truth is, guys, most people don't want to do this work, right? So we generally hire a lot of immigrants, right? We hire a lot of first-generation immigrants coming into America that actually want to do this work. And we pay them really fucking well. Like, I hear a lot of people say, oh, God, you hire those illegal immigrants. You hire immigrants, because you want to pay them no money. You want to, not pay them benefits, And I have to tell people all the time, like, We hire people that have social security numbers, right? We hire people that have addresses. We have people that have driver's licenses, and we pay them. Starting pay is about 20 bucks an hour, right? So you can make $30 an hour. Like if you can pick it up and do the work, like we're gonna pay you really well. And a lot of people just don't understand that it's not about whether you're an immigrant worker, a first generation worker, a white guy, a black guy, an Asian guy. None of that matters, right? It's all about, do you want to do the work? And this thing we find is a lot of people today don't want to do the work. You know, they want to work on an office, they want to work on their phone, they want to work on the computer. You know, maybe they want to spray paint. It's hard to even find paint sprayers today. But anyway, so these are the things that I struggle with, Curtis. I don't know if that answers your question necessarily. I'll read your comment here in just a second. But I like to give people a lot of information about when it comes to training people, whether it's building furniture, sanding furniture, painting furniture, transporting, general assembly, these kind of things, you know. So, okay, Curtis, let's see what you're saying. Curtis says, how long does it typically take you to train a new hire? And what can you do to shorten the knowledge gap? So the truth is hiring people and then reducing that training time is very difficult. And honestly, it goes from person to person to person. So some people, they don't speak very good English. Other people speak great English. Some people, whether they speak English or not, they don't necessarily grasp concepts very well. Sometimes the people that are training them, I've noticed, they don't get along. Right, so we deal with that a little bit, where the culture in our sanding department, the people that are already there will kick the people out that are coming in to learn the work if they don't get along. You know, so I struggle with that kind of thing a little bit. And it's easy to say, well, you just need to tell them to train people. You know, but it's a little more complicated than it. You know, so I deal with that a little bit. But as far as getting people to learn the work, what I find the most important thing is the best ingredient to getting a successful new hire when it comes to sanding specifically is that they like the work. You know, if they're excited to make money, if they're excited to create a really nice piece of furniture. So what I try and do is I try and show people the end product, right? So if I got a guy, he's whatever, sanding a dresser, and he's learning how to sand primer, he's learning how to fill voids, he's learning how to work with, you know, 6-inch sanders, triangular sanders, rectangles, hand sanding, working with LED lights. One of the things that we do is we use a lot of LED lights to identify imperfections. One of the things I like to do is I like to show them the end product. You know, like, hey man, this is the fucking dresser you are sanding on, or that you are sanding. Here's what it's gonna look like in the end, you know. So do a good job, you know. And then if I find imperfections in the painted, basically the end part of the process, I like to show them, hey, here's this thing you missed, right? You use your LED light to help you identify all of these imperfections. Here, take this piece of furniture back to the sanding department. I want you to sand it again, right? I want you to sand the paint. I want you to fill the voids, right, that you missed using your LED light, and then we'll paint again, and I'll show them again. And if I can get people to, understand that the end product is, what the end product looks like and how their job really makes the end product possible, and just how important their sanding job is, then I can generally get them to be pretty successful, you know. But there's other factors, right? They got to get along with the people that are already back there. They got to get along with people that have been there for years, right? I've got sanders that have been with me for, I think I'm up to 5 years, 6 years now. I want to say 5 years. I've got employees that have been with me for 10 years. I've got employees, I got a lot of long-term employees, you know, so that's some of the things that I do to kind of help with the learning curve, help with getting people to buy in on what it is that we do and why their job is so important, you know. So Curtis, I hope that answers your question, man. I know it's a long answer, but the knowledge gap is you got to have people that want to train, but more importantly, you got to have people that want to learn, right? You got to have people that really think that they're really understand that why their job is so important. You know, so that's one of the things I try and do, and I don't know if I'm good at it necessarily. I had a guy ask me a couple months back, he's like, "Well, do you consider yourself to be a good teacher?" You know, it's like, man, I don't know. I'm probably not a great teacher. Like, I just I get all excited when it comes to young people. Like, I really want to teach young people how to do what it is that I do. Older people I have less patience for, you know. So I've got a 19-year-old kid right now who I told him, right, I hired him as a sander. And I said, look, dude, I said, you want to make some money, right? You can make $100,000 a year. You want to make really good money. Why don't you learn how to make furniture, right? You're 19 years old, and he came in to the job interview, and he brought his mom, and he brought his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was like, man, she was so hot. I'm like, holy shit, man, you need some fucking money, man. In order to keep her, like, you need money. And so I told him, like, I mean, you need to learn to make furniture, man. Like you said, you're 19 years old. I'm going to teach you what I was taught when I was 19 years old. I'm going to turn you into a furniture maker. And I said, you know what? But you got to show up every day. You got to show up on time. You come into work, you're going to clean the fucking shop. At night, you're going to empty all the wood bins. You're going to empty the dust bins. You're going to cut up all the scrap, right? You're going to learn how to work in the wood shop. And you're going to learn how to build furniture, right? And I'm teaching them how to use the planer. I'm teaching them how to use the joiner. I haven't got them on the table saw yet, but I'm teaching how to, run the drum sander. And I started to show them a little bit of the CNC, just kind of wet his beak I'm trying to gauge where his interests are, right? Does this kid even have it? So anyway, Curtis, that's kind of what I do. I try and teach people how to do things. I try and give people jobs. I try and give people something that they can do where they get to see it every day, right? So that's what our company is, So that's the Resplendent Crow. That's what we do. You go to resplendentcrow.com. You guys can see the furniture. On YouTube, I don't make a ton of money, right? I'm monetized and all that, but I don't make a lot of money in here. I generally just try and talk to you guys about whatever it is you want to talk about. We talk a lot about politics. We talk a lot about business. We talk about furniture making and all these kind of things, and that's what we do here. So, Curtis, glad you're here, dude. It's a cool channel, when I'm consistent with it. So, okay, guys, ask your questions about the business. Ask your questions about whatever you want. I'm gonna dip into politics here a little bit. I want to talk about what's going on with our government, what's going on with our country, and again, give you guys some time here, talk about politics. I know a lot of you like to talk about this, guys. As business owners, we're not supposed to talk about politics at all. Honestly, guys, I don't give a fuck. Like, our country's in trouble. It's been in trouble for a long time, and Trump was supposed to really help, but he hasn't done that, So that's one of the things I talk about a lot. I'm a 3-time Trump voter. I'm the guy, I live in Illinois. I am in a very blue neighborhood. I'm the guy that's got the Trump 2024 sign out in front of his house for a year, trying to get this guy elected. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel betrayed by Donald Trump. I feel betrayed by the Republican Party. And I'm tired of the performative politics. We need a country that treats its people better, that helps its people, that spends its resources on its people. And that's where I think it needs to be. So let's talk about it. All right, we are 25 minutes in, guys. I appreciate everyone being here. I hope everyone had a great weekend. On to a new week, and I got all kinds of crazy updates. I'll have an update from West Palm Beach, Florida, for you guys probably next week. We'll do a cast from Florida, which is where I'm looking to buy a new business to add to my existing business. So you guys want to follow that story, you'll have that in the cast. So. Okay, Curtis says, I definitely would appreciate an opportunity if one is available. If I could reach out to you personally, let me know how. So Curtis, I get a lot of people on here over the years that have wanted to learn woodworking. Here's the thing. My business is an open book. I'm an open book. That's one of the things people like about this cast. I tell you guys anything. You ask me any question about my business, my personal life, I'm generally going to tell you guys exactly the truth as to what's going on. And again, I tell you guys as a guy that never graduated high school, that figured this thing out. And I think anyone can do it. I'm not special. Your guys aren't special. It just takes a little bit of consistency and finding something that's kind of in demand. And you can do it. You guys want to know how to build web pages. You want to know how to use Shopify. You want to use Square. You want to know how to use AI. You want to know how to, generate images, video, YouTube. I talk about it all, So Curtis, my business is the resplendentcrow.com. I tell everyone, go out there, reach out to the resplendentcrow.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I'm happy to help people. What I tell people all the time is I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not looking for virtual employees. I'm looking for physical employees that want to do real work. And if you're in the St. Louis area, you want a job, reach out to me. I'm open to hire just about anybody. I like helping young people. I'm not too interested in helping older people, and I know we're not supposed to say that as employers. But the truth is that most old people, they got a lot of bad fucking habits. They think they got it all figured out, and yet they're coming to me for a job, So I'm not interested in that necessarily. Not that I don't hire older people. I do. But I have a kind of a passion for helping young people because I want people to be able to develop their skills while they're young, learn habits and skills that will help them to grow their lives, right? To grow their their money, to grow their whatever, grow their careers. So anyway, Curtis, you're welcome to reach out, dude. I appreciate it. And again, I love helping anybody. I've helped many people over the years, So okay, let's dig into policy. And Curtis, let us know where you're at, man. Are you? Let us know what state you're at. Let us know what city, but let us know what state you're at. And what do you do? What's your current business? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go in this life? And I may not have the answer, but I'm happy to engage with people because that's what I do on the stream. In this live stream, I talk to the people on the stream. I tell you guys all the time, you guys are, I'm the host, you guys are the co-host, and we talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about, So happy to engage. Jacksonville, Florida. All right, dude. That's fantastic. So I used to live in Savannah, Georgia, and I would go down to Jacksonville from time to time. I went down to Panama City quite a bit. I love West Palm Beach. There's something magical about the Keys. There's something magical about the state of Florida, which is why we're looking to buy a business in Florida. I love that place. But Jackson, for the guys that don't know, Jacksonville is about, about 3 hours south of Savannah, Georgia, I think. It's kind of in the northern part of Florida. Great town, by the way. So that's cool, dude. But all right, here we go. It says 9-bit. All right, not sure what you're saying there, Curtis. Curtis says, I go where the opportunities are. Okay, well, Curtis. So let me give you a quick little background. Okay, again, you're probably new to this. Yeah. So what you're saying there is your head is already in the right space. Your mindset is in the right space. I did the exact same thing. So I was born and raised in Corvallis, Oregon, right, which is about 2 hours south of Portland, Oregon. And my family had a woodworking business, and we didn't make a ton of money. It was like I think it was like a $40,000 a year business there in Corvallis, Oregon, and we sold furniture to the local municipalities, right? So like the fire department, the police department, city hall. We did a lot of school libraries, just kind of wherever we could get business. We did some residential work, but it was a lot of municipalities, right? And so 9/11 happened, and it all dried up. And so Yahoo was like a big thing. So I got on Yahoo, and they had a jobs board, right? And so I was looking on the internet for jobs, during right after 9/11. And there was a company called Baumhoff that had put an ad on Yahoo, and that was in Wichita, Kansas, right? So I'm in picturesque Corvallis, Oregon. It's now fucking wine country. Like homes are $1 million there. It's like a beautiful place. But I'm an idiot. I don't have a college degree. I wasn't interested in going to college. I didn't give a fuck about computers. I just wanted to build furniture. I just wanted to work with my hands. And so I applied for this job, and they hired me, right? And they hired me based on the fact that I had laminate experience, right? For those of you guys who don't know, laminate, a lot of people call it Formica. Formica is the brand that created laminate. Laminate is just a solid surface product that goes on top of wood or composites or whatever. Anyway, they hired me. So I moved out to Wichita, Kansas. So Curtis, I tell you all this to tell you that the opportunity for me at the time was Wichita, Kansas, right? Because again, everyone stopped spending money after 9/11. So the municipalities were spending money. Nobody was spending money. So we didn't go bankrupt, but the business really struggled, so I couldn't afford me. And so I moved. I drove a little piece of shit Mazda Miata. I think I had $400 or $500 in my pocket, my last paycheck. I had a guitar, electric guitar, no amp, and I had a half-built computer. And I drove out to Wichita, Kansas, and I took a job. And I took that job, and 6 months into it, the company got bought out by a company called Nordam, which I would also later work for. But they laid me off because I was a new hire, So I moved to Wichita, Kansas, got laid off immediately after moving there, and applied for another job at a company called Global Engineering and Technology. And this company was also in aerospace. And unbeknownst to me at the time, the place that I moved to, Wichita, Kansas, was the general aviation capital of the world. Not just America, but the world. More private jets were built in Wichita, Kansas than anywhere on Earth. And so I took this other job at Global Engineering. I spent 11 years there learning how to make private jet furniture, learning how to work composites, right? Things called honeycomb sandwich panels, learning about edge fills, learning about different kinds of engineering, learning how to use different kinds of CAD programs. It was the greatest learning experience of my life, and it paid me fuck all. I started there in 2001 making $10 an hour, right? When I left there, I made $21 an hour. 11 years later, I got basically a $10 an hour, was a $10 or $11 an hour raise. And, you know, most people would have been like, that is fucking bullshit. That's horrible. I don't know why I stayed there. You're a loser. You should have, you know, got out of that place. And the truth is, guys, everything I learned at that piece of shit company, that was actually a great company, turned out to be everything I needed to do what it is that I do today. I didn't know it at the time, but that's what it ended up being. So I left there after 11 years, Curtis, and there was a company, remember the company Nordam that bought out Baumhoff, right? The company that I first worked at that laid me off, right? They bought that company, Baumhoff. Well, I ended up going to work for them 11 years later, there in Wichita, Kansas, right? So then they sent me to New Zealand to go work on different furniture at Air New Zealand there. And that was that lasted 3 or 4 months. That was a lot of fun. But they taught me how to work on things called Ember Airs, right? And do a lot of one-off BBJs, all these kind of different planes. Well, then they closed the facility in Wichita, Kansas. So the opportunity, as you're saying, Curtis, went from working in Wichita to working in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I left Wichita, Kansas. I actually got divorced, right? Which is a whole different discussion. We're not getting into that. But happy to talk about it if you guys want. Left that, went to Tulsa because that's where the opportunity was, right? So I left Wichita, went with the multinational conglomerate that is Nordam down to Tulsa, right? They paid me a fuck ton of money to leave. They put me up in a hotel for almost a year, you know, while we figured out what to do, get the transition done from Wichita, Kansas down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was a wild time, guys. I gotta tell you some crazy stories about that. But anyway, point is that I started doing FedEx planes, commercial jets, right? I started doing, I met Richard Branson. I did Richard Branson's Virgin Atlantic planes, his 787s, when the 787 Dreamliner came out. I did a lot of really cool projects, right? Went out to New Zealand, did a bunch of things out there for Boeing. Anyway, that led into the final opportunity, you're right, Curtis. And again, I'm trying to give you the opportunities list here. After I think it was my 3rd or 4th time of applying to work at Gulfstream Aerospace, which is the creme de la creme of aerospace. It's the highest of the highest tier of general aviation. They make what's called the Gulfstream G650. They make the 700 series and they make the 800 series. These are $75 million jets. They hired me and they moved me out to Savannah, Georgia, right? And I spent 5 years out there living an amazing life. Getting to travel, getting to work on the most prestigious airplanes in the world. I met everybody, you name it, I've met them. I've met all the people that own all these planes. I've met all the companies that own all these planes, and I learned a lot about kind of the back end of aerospace, right? The back end of private aviation. And finally, I ended up moving to here where I'm at now, which is Godfrey, Illinois, or Alton, Illinois, and I worked for Gulfstream again because they opened up operations here. They moved me up here because I was looking to get closer to my son, and they're like, hey, we're going to buy this place called Jet Professionals. Why don't you go up there and help us get this cabinet shop going? And the opportunity ended up falling apart. Didn't work really well. I didn't like the management team, and it was a fucking nightmare. So I took another job at Westar Aviation out here in Alton, Illinois as well, like just up the road. And it led to me meeting my wife. And that led me to meeting my wife. She started a paint company, right? Painting vintage furniture and shipping it all over America. She met me, and then we got this thing and we grew it into the Resplendent Crow, which is whatever, a $1.5 million business. We ship 500-ish pieces a year. We ship to every state in America, and it's turned into a great business, right? And now I get to manage people. I get to make whatever I want. And I get to, you know, I got to do a lot of shit, but it's a good job. It's a good life, you know. So, Curtis, that's who I am. That's what I've done. So when you say chase opportunity, I did the exact same thing, man. I chased every opportunity that I could get. And it wasn't the money that I was chasing. What I was chasing was a higher level of aerospace, right? So when I first started out, I was building things for what are called Cessna CJ2 aircraft. Then we did CJ3 aircraft. We were doing Bombardier. Oh God, what was it? Not Bombardier. Hawker Beechcraft 4000 jets. We were doing Hawker Beechcraft. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of all these planes. King Airs, it was called the King Air, which used to be a Raytheon. Raytheon used to own Beechcraft. So I started doing that, and then I got into working on BBJs, right? Then I got into doing the R&D, the research and development side of aerospace. I got into the engineering side, learning how to use AutoCAD, SolidWorks, CATIA, all these different programs, and I chased these opportunities, which ultimately led me to Gulfstream, which is the highest of the echelon in general aviation, private jets. And a lot of people say, oh, Bombardier is really good, and Dassault is really good. I go, they're fucking shit. The gold standard, the Cadillac of jets is a Gulfstream. So anyway, Curtis, it's a long answer, dude. But I did the exact same thing. You know, I chased working for the highest tier of aerospace companies that I could, and it led me to what I have today. You know, so all these skills taught me enough to where now I do all my own engineering, I make all the drawings, I do all the 3D modelings, and I keep all this stuff up. When I do my cast here, Curtis, just for you, dude, I'll show you exactly what I got going on here. So I flip my camera around here. So I've got this is one monitor, I've got another monitor over here. So I have a couple monitors going, and what I do is I design all this furniture, right? So this is just, and again, I'm sorry, dude, I got one button here like this, but I'm creating all this different kind of furniture, and I've got, you know, gobs of different, look at all these different cabinets that I've owned. I'm just constantly designing things. This is a pagoda cabinet that I'm working on, and I do all this stuff, right? I design all the furniture, I design all the details, and I do it all the faux bamboo, see all the details, right? So I create all that, and I learned it all by working for shit pay for aerospace companies. And it turned into where now I design custom furniture for the richest people in the world, for the, you know, politicians, entertainers, everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, we design and build furniture for all kinds of people. And so I chase opportunities. So dude, when you say that you go where the opportunities are, it's what do you want to do? Where is the end goal for you, right? If the goal is just to make money, you're going to struggle, like I promise. But like if you're in the furniture game, you know, for me, if I was still making furniture, I could be making furniture for Century, right? I could be making furniture for Bassett. I could be making furniture for Theodore Alexander. These are all high-end, kind of higher production volume numbers of pieces of furniture makers, right? These guys sell on the wholesale side. But yeah, you can be one of those companies. But I went a step above, and I was like, well, if I can make furniture for normies, right? Well, maybe I can make furniture for jets. And that's what I did. And so if you know where you want to be, you can work on getting there. And I don't know where you want to be, dude. Like, I got no idea. You know, you say you chase the opportunities. I don't know what your opportunity is. If everything worked out perfectly for you, where would you work? Would you own your own business? Would you work for Theodore Alexander in North Carolina? You know, would you work for Gulfstream Aerospace in Savannah, Georgia? You know, I'm trying to think of what's in Florida. Like, I don't know a lot of furniture companies or construction companies or, you know, blue collar type industries in Florida necessarily. But, you know, maybe you're working for, you know, Lennar Homes, building homes. Like, I got no idea exactly where I want to go to. But chasing the opportunities is everything. Right, and I say this all the time. I'm always bashing micro. You know, you guys, you know, a lot of people like micro. You know, I was talking about jobs. Oh, blue collar work. Blue collar is amazing. You know, get a part of my scholarship program. And I call him a trade hustler. You know, because he's always saying, I know electricians making $260,000 a year, and I know, you know, plumbers making, you know, $500,000 a year, and he's not wrong, right? But what he does is he purposefully isolates a very specific case. He's like, well, this guy, he's working at a data center and he's an electrician. He's 30 years old making $260,000 a year. And what micro never tells you guys is that in order to make a shit ton of money as a blue collar worker, you got to do what I did, right? You got to do what Curtis, I'll read your comment in just a second, dude. You got to do what you're talking about. You got to chase the opportunity, right? And what does opportunity mean? Opportunity means working in bumfuck Egypt. That's opportunity, especially if you're a welder, right? Opportunity means moving to where the work is. If you want to be in aerospace like what I did, you can move to Wichita, Kansas, and you can move to Little Rock, Arkansas. Those are the two places where you're going to learn the skills and have the most opportunity. Then you can move to Saudi Arabia, right, and make $200,000 a year. You can move to Savannah, Georgia, and go work for Gulfstream and make $100,000 a year. You can go out to Victorville, California, and you can make a shit ton of money. But you got to chase the opportunity where the opportunity is, right? You got to be able to work third shift. You got to work second shift. If you got a family, it's really tough. Your wife's got to be really understanding. Your kids got to be really understanding. Hey, dad's got to fucking go to work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get off at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? This is where the real opportunities and the real money is. But Mike Rowe never talks about that, right? He's just like, oh, God, go get an electrician's degree. You're going to make fucking $200,000 a year, and it's bullshit. You're going to make $60,000 a year. The minute you get your electrician license, you're going to make 60 grand. And then you're going to work under a journeyman electrician who's probably making $100,000 a year. You spend 3 or 4 years under him, and then maybe you can make $100,000 a year, you know. But again, you got to go where the opportunity is. You got to put in the work, and most people just don't want to do it, Curtis, you know. So let's see what you're saying, dude. Okay, let's see. Honestly, I just want to be around good people, learn high-level skills, and become a better person and give back. All right, Curtis, well, you're not being very specific, but I like what you're saying, man. Like, it sounds like you're an easygoing dude, you know, and this is part of being able to get the opportunities, right? Nobody wants to work around an asshole, right? Nobody wants to work around someone who's looking to fucking step over everyone so they can get where they want to be, you know? So it sounds like your heart's in the right place, but your head's got to be in the right place, man. So, okay, what else? I'm the type of person who learns quickly, and I don't care how people convey their message of a quick, see about a thick skin. I'm built to be around sharks, and I know you are one. Yeah, you know, and Curtis, that sounds great. Being able to put up a lot of shit is a big part of making it, right? Son, I see your name. Son, good to see you, man. I'm so sorry, dude. Like, I've been so busy, son, and I'll go put in the comments, son. I'm happy to go back over like what I've been doing, where I've been, the kind of things that have been going on in my business, and just kind of, we're busy, man. Like, I just don't have the time, and I want to get back, so I really miss talking to you guys, and I tend to supplement my live streams and talking with my audience and doing other things that I probably shouldn't do. I need to get back to doing this whole time, you know, so son, so I will get back talking to you, dude. I appreciate being here, man, as always. Okay, but Curtis, so a lot of people say they learn quickly. A lot of people say they want to, you know, do really well. They want to learn high value skills, things like this. And the truth is, dude, most people don't. I used to get hit all the time by my mentor. He would hit me with a hat constantly. He would maybe not belittle me, but he would tell me things to the effect of like, hey, I didn't fucking tell you to do that. What the fuck are you doing? And he would talk to me in such a way that he was probably talked to by his mentor. And truth is, a lot of people didn't want to be around that. A lot of people didn't want to be around this 70-year-old old fuck who didn't want to speak to them the way they wanted to be spoken to. And the truth is, Curtis, being around that guy and putting up with his shit, here's what I learned, okay? And this is, I don't know if I've ever told this story, but I've told a lot of freaking stories, man. I've told a lot of stories on this cast over the years. But here we go. I think I never said this guy's name. This guy's name was Bob Baird. And he was 7 years old. And again, he was this like little fucking dwarf looking guy and just an ornery old bastard, to be completely honest with you. And there were some things we didn't know as cabinet makers, as furniture makers, as people that worked around this guy. There's things we didn't know as to why this guy was working where he was, right? So nobody liked this guy. He was hard to deal with. He had a very short temper, and he just was kind of an asshole. And so I kind of cozied up to this guy. You know, I didn't do it intentionally. The reason I cozied up to this guy was because he got to work on all the cool shit, right? So for those of you guys don't know, Boeing has these planes, and they're called E-4B. You guys can Google this. They're called the E-4B planes. Some people call them the Doomsday planes. And these planes are the ones that have what's called the slickest command center in them, right? And this is the thing that controls all the nuke codes, right? That controls, these are the planes, there's 4 of them, and the military uses them to coordinate war when the military is doing its thing, right? So if there was, like say there was a ground war in America, right? These planes are the planes, they're meant to fly forever, right? There's 4 of them. They're meant to be refueled constantly. They're radiation proof. They are nuclear resistant. They're a really cool plane. They're a 747-400, right? So that's a Boeing 4-engine plane, right? And so I got to work on these planes with this guy, Bob. And this is really cool stuff. So there used to be this thing called the Boeing Defense Center out in Wichita, Kansas. And this is a place where all the top secret planes or the most highly classified, high security planes are. You know, whether it's Air Force One, Air Force Two, Marine One, your E-4B planes, these kind of planes are all there. And super high. This is when you, in order to get in, you have to pass FBI background checks. They got to go through your family history. They got to check your credit. These are the planes where you see the Jeeps with the machine guns. This is the kind of place where these planes are. Well, anyway, this guy got to work on all that shit, you know? So I would put up with this guy's shit. I would listen to whatever he had to say because I got to go out to this place and be around these people. I got to work on the Saudi prince's plane, the Sultan of Brunei's plane, the King of Jordan. Like you name it. They're really cool planes, guys. And so I put up with this guy's shit, and he taught me all about working with sheet metal, how to bend it, how to manipulate joggling, how to do ohm testing, how to do bomb site measuring. I mean, he was a wizard of knowledge, and nobody wanted to listen to this fucking guy. And the reason that my company kept him around is because he was a wizard. he was just one of these old guys that just learned a whole bunch of stuff, and he dedicated his life to this. Like, he didn't give a fuck about his wife. His wife knew who he was. He was just this guy that liked to make things. And I coached up this guy, and he taught me everything, you know. And he died when he was about 75 of cancer. And very sad, actually. Such a wise, smart man died so early, died so young. And he dedicated his life to this kind of stuff. And he taught me a lot of this stuff. And so the company that I was working for kept me around, I'm sure when I was a pain in the ass, because I got to learn all this guy's knowledge. He put up with me, I put up with him, and it just worked, you know. And you know, it was really cool, you know. So Curtis, I tell you the story to tell you that, you know, there are these people in your life that you're going to meet. These are these opportunities that you're talking about. These people that are just these old sages that have a lot of information. You don't want to be one of these guys that just, you know, doesn't want to listen to people, you know, talk shit to them, you know, critical of how they talk, don't like when they put, you know, goofy expectations upon you, tell you to do goofy shit. You just gotta be willing to do whatever it takes and be around these kind of people, you know. So cool story, man. I like that guy. He's the guy that really taught me a lot of what I know today, you know. So, all right, Son says, yo, he's back. Yes, Son, I am back, and I'm gonna do more of these streams. I really miss this stuff, Son. Like, I completely honest, man. Like, I really miss talking about politics. I really miss talking about monetary policy. I really miss talking about all this kind of stuff. And truth is, Son, like, I've been so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just maybe defeated is the word I'm looking for. Like, defeated about this whole Iran war thing. Like, it's such an unforced error. And the more I see, again, as someone who, like, I worked really hard to get Trump elected for like 2 years of my life. And I've been a huge supporter of this guy. And to see him just betray all of us, betray everyone that worked for this guy, betray the people that voted for him, and see what he's done to this country is just, like, I'm like, fuck it, man. I don't want to talk about politics. I just want to focus on making my money. I want to make so much money that I don't give a shit about the president. I don't give a shit about politicians. I don't give a shit about any of these people. I'm just going to be stupid fucking rich, and then I don't care about politics, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I don't care about the president. I don't care about, you know, how hard he fucks over the American people. I don't care about how hard he lies and talks out of both sides of his mouth, Son, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at, dude. I just haven't wanted to talk about any of that stuff. I've just been kind of defeated. And again, my company's been so busy, Son. And again, we'll read the rest of your comments, and I'll I'll interact with you. Okay, let's see. I'll rewatch the start. I know you're busy. He hinted at that earlier. Yeah, it's wild times, son. I'm just super frustrated with where our country's at. I'm tired of the government not working for the people, right? I'm tired of the government not helping people to learn things, to be better people. I'm tired of the government essentially giving up on the American people. For those of you guys who know that you're new to the stream, one of the things that I believe has happened is that the federal government is literally trying to put you all in UBI. They've given up on the American people. They don't want to educate you. They don't want to train you. They've incentivized corporations and businesses to hire illegal immigrants, to hire first-generation immigrants, and to outsource all the work to the third world because they don't want to fucking teach you anything. They don't want to hire you. They don't give a fuck about you. They want you all to go to school and get saddled with shit tons of debt. And if you can't pay the debt, well then, or excuse me, if you can't get a job, then fuck it. You can be on welfare forever. I believe the federal government is about to implement some form of UBI, and you guys are all fucked. I've talked about it for a long time, and this is how I see it. And again, I say this as a business owner. I say this as a guy who hires and fires people for a living. I see what's going on, and I'm wildly frustrated with it. I see our federal government just wanting to fund wars, right? To fund NGOs, to give corporations massive amounts of tax breaks. I see corporations happy to pay whatever they want for healthcare, right? They'll pay Medicare, Medicaid, and just hand money to insurance companies, hand money to pharmaceutical companies, hand money to hospitals, and it's bullshit. It needs to stop, and that's what I talk about a lot on the stream, and I see America working in a very different way. If we could get this government to stop fighting the people and to start acting in the people's interest, right? Like, take this Iran war, son. Take this Iran war. I'll give you a quick, son. Now we'll talk about politics. I got some general things I want to talk about. Here you go, son. So, I'm tired of the federal government not giving the spoils to the American people, and the Iran war is a perfect example of snatching the leader out of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, right? If we snatched the leader out of Venezuela, right? We snatched her and we took their oil, as Trump says. Why the fuck are oil prices up? Before this Iran war, I was paying $2.53 here in St. Louis, Missouri for gas. It's fucking $4 a gallon now. So again, if we went over there and we snatched that leader and we're going to take control of their oil, we're going to put more oil on the market. Why the fuck is my energy $4 a gallon? Right? Why am I paying? And again, I ship furniture all over the country, so I got to pay diesel prices. Why the fuck are my energy prices up? Doesn't make any sense, right? And again, if we're gonna go conquer Iran, we're gonna kill a whole bunch of people, right? We're gonna go take their fucking oil next. Okay, why aren't my energy prices going down? And this is the problem that I have. Okay, America is paying for the war, right? So you guys are paying $2 billion a day to keep this war going, okay? The federal government asked for, the Department of Defense, Department of War, whatever you want to call it, they asked for $200 billion extra dollars to resupply their munitions, right? So as this war is going on, you're paying for the munitions, you're paying for the fucking Navy, the Marines, all these people to be over there, right? You're paying the increase in energy prices. Europe's paying the increase in energy prices. China's paying the increase. Africa, everybody is paying for this, right? We're all paying for this, right? The Department of War head, Pete Hegseth, that fucktard, he asked for $1.5 trillion for the military. So we're going to pay for that as well, right? So American taxpayers are paying for every step of this conflict because supposedly Iran has a nuclear weapon. Fuck no, they don't have a nuclear weapon. And how do you know that, Eric? Oh my God, because Tulsi Gabbard, right, the director of the intelligence agency, said, no, they don't. Benjamin Netanyahu, that fucking asshole, he's been saying for 35 years that Iran is getting a nuclear weapon. They're, a week away from having a nuclear weapon. Okay, and again, if Iran had a nuclear weapon, I'd be all for it. Show me the nuke. Give me the data. Show me the intelligence. It doesn't exist. So you, the taxpayer, me, the taxpayer, we're just paying for all of it, son. We're paying for everything. And guess what, son? We're going to pay to rebuild Iran. We're going to pay for all of it, dude. Like, we're going to pay Qatar. we're going to pay the United Arab Emirates. We're going to give these guys loans, right? So they can keep their economies going while we try and pay for this fucking war and get Iran to do whatever the hell this president wants to do. Like, it's batshit crazy, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, meanwhile, you and I are paying shit tons in taxes. We're paying fucking way more than we should be paying for gasoline and diesel. And there's no end in sight, man. And for what? Like, none of us voted for this shit. None of us voted for this shit. We voted for tariffs. We voted for mass motherfucking deportations. Mass deportations. Like the fucking blue-haired whiny bitches, they're crying in the fucking streets because ICE is going there and snatching people out of their homes, going on the job sites, snatching people off the job sites. That is what we voted for. And we're not getting it, dude, you know, so sorry, so you got me running my mouth, man. Glad you're here, dude. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll down here. All right, Charlie P. 76. Good to see you, dude. MAGA are war criminals. I don't know if they're war criminals, dude, but America's supposed to be better than this. You know, like I see what's going on in Israel, right? Over there in Palestine. And again, I don't give a fuck. If Israel wants to kill every fucking Palestinian, I don't give a shit. Great, you guys go fucking kill each other. I want to make furniture. I want gas to be fucking $1.99 a gallon. I want diesel to be $2.50 a gallon. I want every American to have a fucking job. I want us all to have health care. I want young people to be able to afford homes. I want young people to go and fuck all the time because they're out at bars getting shit-faced, chasing women, chasing men, having kids. I want the birth rate to get better. And we can't do that in the culture that we have here right now. You know, what kid, I mean, you hear these stories about, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to have kids, right? Because it's a burden, right? They can barely afford life as it is. Like, what the fuck would you have a kid for? Like, this, to me, as a 46-year-old man, this, like, it makes you want to cry. You know, that having kids is a burden, right? That having a family is a burden. You know, and no one seems to care. No one seems to give a shit. And, you know, I just like I said, I as an American, as a business owner, as a guy who's got, you know, we got 3 kids between me and my wife. Like I don't know what we do with this country when all we want to do is talk about fighting wars. I don't understand. You know, when you elect a person to do a thing, and then they don't do it, they do the exact opposite. It's like, what? You lose your confidence in democracy, right? The constitutional republic that we have here in America. You lose your faith in all of it. You know, you see what's happening with the monetary policy. And son, I haven't talked about this much, but Trump is going to print more money than anybody in history. Like, this fucking guy was supposed to be talking about balancing the budget. You know, they're like, oh my God, he's cutting all these federal employees. Like, get fucked, man. Like $2 billion a year you're gonna save because of federal employees. Like, fuck you, man. Like, you're printing almost $3 trillion a year, and you want me to get excited about you cutting 200,000 people from the federal government? Like, I can't do it. You know. So, as far as war criminals, Charlie, man, like I don't want to see our weapons used to genocide poor people. I'm just over it. I don't want Palestinians coming to America. I don't want fucking poor, you know, African nations coming to America. I don't want retarded motherfuckers coming to America. I'm sorry, I don't. I want us to bring the best and the brightest here. That's what I want. But I don't want our weapons used killing poor people. And, you know, I see these kids over there, you know, you know, how sad they are. You know, their country's ruined, and it's done with our weapons and our funding and our intelligence and the help of our military, and I don't want it. You know, and again, I don't care if Israel fucking genocides the entire Palestinian state. I don't give a shit. They want to go fight Iran? Go fight Iran. Go genocide Iran. I don't give a shit. But I don't want our weapons being used for it. I don't want our tax dollars going towards it. And every one of these fucking politicians that tries to tell me, oh my God, Israel's our friend. Israel's fighting terrorists, so we don't have to. I want every fucking one of them voted out of office. All I want them talking about is making housing affordable, making food affordable, making healthcare affordable, making sure people got jobs, incentivizing small businesses, incentivizing education, telling poor people to do better, and giving them the tools to do it. This is what I want for this country, and I'm fucking tired of constantly, like, oh, look at Iran, look at the fucking Israel, look at Gaza, look at, you know, the Middle East, look at Russia, look at China. You also think I'm tired of. As an American manufacturer, I'm fucking tired of people telling me, oh God, China's the enemy, while we send all of our work over there. I'm tired of them saying, China's the enemy. We can't have Chinese electric cars. We can't have Chinese AI, but we can bring all their fucking students over here. Our education is for us. You want to come get educated in America? Get fucked. I'm sorry. You can't talk about, oh, China's the enemy, and then bring all their students over. I'm tired of this duplicitous, talking out of both sides of your mouth bullshit. I'm tired of it. You know, so, yeah, sorry, so man, you got me worked up, dude. I appreciate it. I've been wanting to purge. This is like a purge for me. I've been wanting to do this for so long. It's been months that I've been able to do this, son. Okay, let's see what you're saying, dude. Okay, Sun says, our country is being parasitically controlled. All logic and reason goes out the window once Israel is involved. Yeah, but it's not, I mean, Israel is a huge problem. You know, I've said it all the times. Like, I say this all the time. A lot of my clients are Jewish. Like, I love Jewish people. Jewish people I treat Jewish people and think of Jewish people as the same as black people, as Asian people, as white people. We're all kind of the same. The state of Israel can get fucked. I'm sorry. Those people need to go. You know, they want to pick fights with all their neighbors. Great. Do it without America. Let's see how it goes. My guess is Israel would not exist, you know, because they keep fucking with everyone. Instead of getting along, they don't do it, you know, and, you know, they need to get their comeuppance. They need to get what's coming to them. You mess with the bull, you're going to get the fucking horns. And the problem is that America's always there, like the big brother, like, oh, yeah, I know my little brother's a fucking bastard, but what am I doing? I'm always going to stick it for my little brother. And that's how it's been. And I'm tired of it, man. So, yeah, you look at AIPAC. AIPAC is a major problem, son. You know, they donate to everyone. It's a huge problem, you know, but I don't know what we do about it. I don't know how you get the money out of politics, man. I don't know how you do it. You know, what was the Supreme Court, Citizens United, you know, where businesses can essentially, you know, put as much money as, I mean, Elon Musk is going to put $250 million into an election. Like, I think that's bullshit, man. What happened to one person, one vote? That doesn't exist anymore, you know. So, yeah, I don't know, son, man. It's wild times. All right, Kicks Hornets Nest. Wow, those Hornets are coming out. Yeah, and again, I'm one of these guys. I just want to focus on making money, man. I want to train people. I want to teach people how to make furniture. I want to teach people how to finish furniture. I want business to grow. I want business to, you know, get passed on to my kids. Like, I just want to make money. I want to, you know, go to the casino. I want to buy fast cars. I want to, you know, have a ton of sex. Like, I want to watch a lot of, you know, 1980s movies. Like, I just want to live a normal kind of life. I don't have to worry about politics. I don't think about war. I don't think about the state of Israel. I don't think about these other countries that have nothing to do with my country. I want to get back to living a normal life, man. Like, it didn't used to be this way, son. It didn't used to be this way. It's just out of control, man. You know. So yeah, the Hornets are coming out. All right, Charlie P. Let's see what you said. Charlie P. 765. Man, good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. Strategic oil reserve at a 40-year low because MAGA trying to cover oil price. Yeah, and this is wildly frustrating. So if you guys, this is really scary actually because so Charlie, what you're saying, I agree 100%, man. We're getting ready to see what's called the bullwhip effect, and normally with the bullwhip effect, you get a ton of inventory, right, or a ton of supply coming onto the market, and it causes prices to crater. But the problem with what we see with the energy markets, specifically petroleum, is Russia, right, produces their own energy. They're doing okay, right? China doesn't produce jack shit. And if you look at the reserves, right, China's been drawing its reserves down since February 28th. They haven't been buying a ton of oil either. Eventually, they're going to want to buy more oil, and they're going to want to resupply, right, their reserves. Same thing with Europe, right? Europe is, you know, has a shit ton of people in it, has a large economy as a whole, right? I think with, oh my God, the EU, excuse me. They're going to need to resupply their reserves, right? America strategic reserves are way down. So we're going to need to resupply our reserves, right? South America, Canada, everyone's got to resupply their reserves. And when that happens, guys, I'm sorry. The cost of energy is it might not go through the roof, but you're going to see $5 gasoline again. It's the only thing to happen because it has to happen because there's only so much energy in the world, right? And all these tankers, you see anywhere from 30 to 70 tankers moving through the Strait of Hormuz, right, on any given day. Now you're seeing one or two. All that energy is being loaded up into tankers, into reserves in the Middle East. Like it's all being stockpiled right now. And eventually that inventory is going to move onto the market. But there's only so many tankers. They can only offload that shit so fast. And the cost of energy, guys, it's going to get bad. I believe it's going to get really bad for probably a year or two, and I don't know what we do about it, and the fact that energy hasn't gone up during this conflict, it went up initially to like 120 bucks a barrel, but it hasn't gone up since, right? And if you look at what happened during the Ukraine crisis, once the Ukraine crisis, I don't know if you guys remember this, a barrel of oil was $150 a barrel, right? And Russia never stopped producing energy. Look what the fuck is happening in the Middle East. They're 20% of the world's energy, and it's not moving. And energy, I think last I saw it's traded at was like $84 a barrel. It doesn't make sense. The market doesn't make sense. But eventually, the market is going to start making sense, guys. And I think it's going to be bad, But anyway, Charlie, I like your comment, dude. What Biden did, right? Remember when Biden was during the midterms? During his administration, he actually tapped the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to get oil prices to come down because of the Ukraine war to help them in the election. Like, what a fucking chicken shit thing to do. And then Trump's doing the same thing. And it's like, God damn it, man. Like, I thought we were better than this. I thought we were better than this, but we're not. Like, all these people, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, Biden, Trump, doesn't matter. It's a uniparty, guys. They all want the same shit. They want your fucking taxes. That's all they want. They want taxes. They want military-industrial complex. They want tax cuts. And they want welfare, right? Boomers get their Medicare. Boomers get their Social Security, even though they're both fucking bankrupt. They don't make enough money to pay for themselves. The poor people get their Section 8 food stamps. You, the middle class, get fuck all. You get to go to work. You get 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week in order to buy fucking homes that are $408,000 on average. It's fucking bullshit. A lot of people are canceling their medical insurance because they can't pay for it. Unless you get it at a job, right? Your employer pays for it for you or pays a large chunk of it. You don't have fucking healthcare. So a lot of people are canceling it. Start a small business. Good fucking luck. I haven't had healthcare for 7 years. Yeah, I got a heart condition. Like I got polymyositis. You can't afford it. Like I make good money and I won't buy healthcare because it's too damn expensive. It's not worth the money, in my opinion, that they're charging for it. Like this is the world that we've created. It doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. So anyway, sorry guys, I'm long one as I apologize. I'm just running my mouth here. Okay, Son says, what Europeans and Christians are the number one target of the whole. Yeah, Son, I hear a lot of this holy war, and this ethnic group and that ethnic group, and these people are sectarian. I hear all that shit, man. I don't fucking want to hear it. I don't give a fuck about your religion, man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of, these guys, they're Shia, and they're Sunni, and these are Kurds, these are Protestants. Like, get fucked. Like, what happened to people being people? What happened to people just helping people? Well, they're not of my religion. Like, god damn it, man. Like, if that's what we're gonna be left with, like, we're in deep shit, son. Like, haven't we moved past this? And I get that, some cultures, like African cultures, they're kind of retarded. Middle Eastern cultures, they're kind of retarded. They haven't had the, not the enlightenment, but they just haven't had the exposure to media and education and all the information that we have here, So, again, maybe retarded is probably not a right word, but they haven't moved into understanding all the different religions and all the comings and goings of the world like we are here in America because we just have so much information, right? We have the access to so much education here. All right, one fact about the Fed, Samuel Untermyer both helped start the Fed and funded the Scofield Bible, which is where Christian Scientist comes from, aka the thing that enables Them loons. Okay, so do you see they use Bitcoin for shipments? Yeah, and again, good for them. I think it's great. And this is the problem. Like, why would you want to use something like the dollar? The dollar's fucking corrupt. Like, it's being inflated into oblivion. It can be tracked, anywhere. When you want to use a credit card, like, fuck that. Why do I use a credit card? What's you gonna be taxed on it? One of the things that annoys me is the whole payment system structure that we have here in America. It's completely fucked. My wife's from India. It's completely different in the third world. They don't even have the fucking concept of credit the way we have it here in America. This idea that, Visa and MasterCard and American Express, they're going to carve off 2 or 3% for themselves, doesn't fucking exist in the third world. The federal government says, you want to make a payment, you make a fucking payment. The transaction is free. So you don't have these monopolistic credit and credit card and monetary businesses like we have in America, so very different. But good for them. I would do the same thing. Like, why would you want to trade in anything but Bitcoin, right? If it's as secure as you say it is, as the people that, want to use Bitcoin, push Bitcoin, if it's as secure and safe as they say it is, that's what I would do too. You need a decentralized form of currency, like paying in cash. Like anytime you get paid in cash, it's fucking amazing. I love getting paid in cash because guess what? You don't got to pay taxes on it. You can buy things and it can't be traced. You can do all kinds of, if you want to pay people under the table, you can do it with cash. Cash is an amazing way to do all kinds of commerce, but not gonna be trading oil, and that's for damn sure. So yeah, I think Iran's, the thing about Iran, like, I think a lot of people, me included, son, to be clear, like, I think of Iran as like the fucking desert. Like, there's these, these fucking brown people that live in these, they're dirt poor, they're fucking retarded. They, believe in some old ancient, religion, and they're, these dumb fucking brown people. Not true. They're highly intelligent, amazing engineers, extremely resourceful, and wildly intelligent. And the fact that they decided, well, we're going to take all our payments in Bitcoin, it just goes to that aim. They're very intelligent people, So I think a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world are looking like, hey, these people aren't fucking retarded. They're not dumb. These aren't dumb people living in the sand. I hope people are getting educated about what's going on with this whole Iran conflict, son. So good for them. Okay, it's 100% trust and income. So, son, what's Bitcoin trading at these days? I haven't looked at it in months. I remember it was like $1.20, and then it went down to like something like 60, 68. I don't know what it's trading at now. Let me know. Okay. I think Iran average IQ is like 105. Yeah, right. If it is, that's like insane, right? I mean, like people, I don't think people understand. And again, I put myself in this camp, like it's being kind of a dumb guy. It's like as far as even I'm married to an immigrant. My mother-in-law is from India. She lives with us most of the time. Her family is from India. They're here. I'm kind of dumb when it comes to the world, to be completely honest. And these people are wildly intelligent, and they tend to. I think the thing that I've learned is that they think about things differently than we do. Which you would think, well, yeah, that's it's because they're dumb. Like, no, it's like maybe we're maybe not dumb, but maybe we're kind of like indoctrinated in the way that we think. And it's good to see these people doing things in a different way. So I think the Iranian people are like. I hold the Iranian people in a pretty high esteem, like for what they're doing. I think that the fact that they've been what's the word I'm looking for here? They've been unmovable, maybe, with this whole Iran conflict. Every time Trump, and you guys notice, like Trump comes out every day. Oh, they want to make a deal. They're running out of weapons. We've destroyed everything. Like everything this motherfucker says is a lie, and Iran just comes out and just. They don't have to tell the truth. Iran just paints a different picture. And then you see the satellite images. If you spend a week, right, following a story, you'll find out, oh my God, the Iranian story is actually correct. The American propaganda is propaganda. It's a lie. We're being lied to on a daily basis by our own fucking president. Like, Trump can't shut his mouth. He can't shut his mouth for a day. He can't shut his mouth for a week. He can't fucking just tell us the truth. He just propagandizes. And like Fox News, they do the same. Twitter, same thing. It's all propaganda, and it's so transparent, son. I'm so disappointed in Trump. And as someone who's supported this guy ever since he came down the golden escalator. Like, I like Trump as a business person. I like Trump. I like his character. I like the fact he's a real person. He talks real shit. He acts and speaks like a real person. I like the fact that the guy has went bankrupt numerous times, started different companies. Half of his companies have failed. I mean, hell, probably 75% of his companies have failed. I like that about this guy. But he's a fucking liar. He is such a liar and a manipulator, and that I can't stand. I can't have it. And again, I voted for Trump 3 times. I'm a diehard Republican, conservative type person, but I want him impeached. I want him gone. I hope the Democrats win in the midterms. I'm voting Democrat, blue no matter who, and I hope they impeach this motherfucker for lying to me and for not doing what he said he was going to do. When 80 million people vote for you to do something, when the swing states, which are generally fairly blue, vote for you, that's a motherfucking mandate. I'm sorry, it is. And you can say it's not. You can say whatever you want. And Trump can say, whatever he wants. But no American voted for more war. And the boomers, they can say whatever they want. I pick on the boomers a lot. But they can believe whatever Fox News tells them. And they can think that we just need to bomb every country and, bomb the brown people and the poor people and, fuck Africa and fuck the Middle East. And we just need to drop bombs forever. And we got the biggest military ever. And our dicks, 10 feet long. And they can believe all that shit. I'm over it. I've seen enough. I feel like I've been to the show and I've seen the strings, as they say. I don't know, son, man. His son says, yeah, we're on a roll. Liz and Troy's here. Liz and Troy, good to see you. Glad you're here. Liz and Troy, let us know where you're at. Liz and Troy, I haven't been on here in a while. For those, I don't remember seeing you. I'm trying to remember all the people that we've had here. I mean, I've had thousands of people in here at one time. Like some of these casts get really big. We start talking about Epstein files. I mean, we'd have like literally like hundreds of people at simultaneously. And Google's changed the YouTube's changed the algorithm, and live streams don't get the love that they used to get. But I like to do them. People like the live streams. I like interacting with you guys. And so, Liz, I'm glad you're here. Let us know where you're from. Let us know what you do. I'm very curious, and let us know what you want to talk about. I tell you guys all the time, I'm the host, you guys are the host. You guys want to talk about something, I'm happy to talk about. I interact with people in my live streams. I'm not just talking to hear myself talk. I want to talk to you guys and hear what you guys think about the world, because I think that the people are what's really going on in the country, right? I want to know what you guys really think about things and what you really want to talk about, because I don't think that, I think Twitter's fake, guys. I think X is fake. I think a lot of things, there's a thing called the dead internet theory. I think that a lot of the internet is controlled by bots, and I don't think there's a lot of real conversations going on today. And I think the live stream is one of the last remaining conduits to real people and real conversations. So, Liz, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so yeah, we're on the roll. Son, you said something. I want to make sure you get back to your comment. And again, I want to talk about politics a little bit, guys. I feel like all I do is bash Trump as a lifelong Trump supporter. That's all I do. And I'm just kind of over it. I'm tired of people trying to tell me that, Trump's doing great and the country's doing great and everything's great. And I see what's going on. I see my employees saying, hey, man, I need to make some more money, but I want to make it under the table because I don't want to pay taxes on it, because taxes are really high. I don't want you to increase my salary because then I don't qualify for things like, health care, right? I don't qualify for this kind of stuff. WIC, I don't qualify for jack shit. I see this kind of stuff and it's very frustrating to me. So, okay, about the exact same as average European IQ. Okay, so you're talking about the IQ of the average Iranian. That's cool, man. Love the lamp. Trump is only using his position to make us felony. Oh my God, Liz, you're holy shit, man. I've never seen so much corruption in my life, and I thought we were better than this. Like, I thought we were better than this. Like, as a country, like what is happening? You get these cucks all over the internet. Jesse Kelly on Fox News. Whatever. Trying to think of, like, Benny Johnson. Gunther Eagleman. Like what the fuck is going on? Like, these guys have to see what's happening to this country, and they just act like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, America, fuck yeah. And I don't see it. I can't be the only one, So that's why I love these live streams. I feel like there's real people on here. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks like this country's lost its mind, And you get the people on the internet, they're just like, well, it's better than Kamala, better than Biden, And I don't think so. I don't think it's any better. And the problem that I have, and you guys let me know what you guys think about this, but I would much rather be fucked by the guy that I know is going to fuck me versus the person that I believe in and the person that I hope is going to help me and the person that I worked to get elected and the person that I believe is going to, when that guy fucks me, you're dead to me. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you say. You're fucking dead to me. And that's how I feel about Donald Trump. He has just destroyed his base, and he has just lied to the people that put him in office, and he has betrayed us all. So I'll leave it at that. But Liz, I completely agree. When I see this guy, he's trading. You can spend $100,000 a month and get access to his tweets. How long till Donald Trump says, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna make this tweet, or hey, you know what? Hey, for $200,000 a month, what do you want me to say? How long till that happens? Because we know that Donald Trump speaks out of both sides of the mouth, so he can say whatever he wants, move the markets, and then just be like, nah, I was just kidding. And then the people that are paying him $100,000 a month for early access to his content, they can, whatever, trade millions of dollars in stocks and make shit tons of money. Like, is this really the world? Are we living in a speculative world where tweets dictate everything? Like, we just, we govern by tweet. Everybody's trading on the stock market. Everyone's, betting on FanDuel, and everyone's betting on everything. Oh my God, what's Trump going to say? Is Trump going to have 5 tweets today? Oh, is Trump going to bomb Iran today? Is Mark Wayne Mullen going to actually deport 100 people today? 1,000 people today? Like, this culture we're going to live in? Liz, I like your comment. Thank you. Thank you. All right, David, good to see you. David, VAPK. Trump got me. I don't know if you're saying it right or exactly what you're saying. You have to fill me in, dude. Appreciate being here, though. Thanks, David. All right, Liz says new. Yep, Liz, I know that you're new. I'm pretty sure. I try to remember the people. I'm pretty good with names. So I'm in Puget Sound. Wow. So yeah, I'm from Corvallis, Oregon. A lot of my family lives in Seattle. I did a bunch of work in Everett. My parents keep a condo in Seattle, overlooking Puget Sound. It's beautiful. We can see the wharf, right, where the Ferris wheel is, right? So yeah, beautiful place. I love Seattle. I love Washington. Snoqualmie Falls, been there many times. Been to Mount Baker, right? Done a lot of Spartan races in Washington State, a lot of Spartan races in Oregon. Most beautiful part of the country. So anyway, Liz, I'm very curious as to, I want to ask you where you live in Puget Sound, but do you live on one of the islands? My sister lived on Whidbey Island for a long time, so we would take the train out to the ferry, right, and take the ferry out to Whidbey, and a lot of fun, love living out there. It's a beautiful place. There's some great wineries out there on some of the islands out there in Puget Sound. You're bringing back a lot of memories, so it's very, very nostalgic. So very cool, Liz. Yeah, how long have you lived there? Have you been a lifelong Pacific Northwesterner? I'm very curious. All right, James, Trump is interested in blowing up Iran. He wants him to stop threatening Israel, Middle East countries, and Europe. Again, who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? Israel, why are we give 2 shits about Israel? They fucking do nothing for us. They don't make anything for us. They don't add to our GDP. All they are is a suck. They're a parasitic country. And again, I don't want anything bad to happen to Israel, right? But you can't genocide the entire state of the entire area of Palestine and then say, well, it's Hamas's fault. Like, fuck you, man. Like, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't do it, and you can't use my weapons and my tax dollars to do it. I'm sorry. I'm just not okay with that. They're shooting rockets. So fucking go deal with it, And again, but don't use our weapons, right? You want to go genocide Gaza? Great. You can't use American money. You can't pay our politicians to look the other way while you kill 100,000 people. You can't do it. And this is the problem that I have. Israel, great, it's yours. You can have it if you can keep it. If you're not going to get along with every country, you don't deserve to be there. If you can't get along with your neighbors, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to be there. Well, you don't believe in Israel's right to exist. I absolutely believe in Israel's right to exist, right? But if you don't operate diplomatically, guess what? You're done. Just like America. You guys want to come over and fuck with America? Great, come over here. Let's do it. Same thing with the state of Israel. Israel can exist if they can keep it, and that's it. But you can't use America, the most mighty military the world has ever known in the history of civilization, to protect you while you fuck with everybody. You can't do it. So I don't want to talk about that a whole lot. I'm tired of the whole Israel discussion. I don't want to talk about Israel. I'm tired. I want to talk about the Middle East. The Middle East does nothing for America. For the guys who don't know, do a little bit of research about how petroleum works. We get 6% of our energy from the Middle East. 6%, right? This isn't 1970s fucking Jimmy Carter, era. That doesn't exist anymore, okay? America produces 14 million barrels of its own energy, of its own oil every day, okay? We get 6 million barrels of energy from Canada, okay? We get a little bit of energy from South America and a little bit of energy from the Middle East, okay? Times have changed. We don't need to be there. But this is what America does, guys. We literally create problems that we then pay for. We extract tax dollars from you and from me to go solve these problems that didn't exist before we got there, to protect a resource that we don't need anymore. And they're like, oh, we might need that oil. We got to protect Saudi Arabia. We got to protect Qatar, and we got to protect the UAE. Why? Why? Let them buy our weapons to protect themselves. We got all these bases over there. You guys see what happened to those bases? They're all fucking destroyed. Iran destroyed them all. Oh, those are our allies. Oh, really? Why are they our allies? They're our allies because they're putting money into America. They're investing in AI. They're allowing these multinational conglomerate companies to essentially spend shit tons of money on bullshit technology like AI. That's all it is. It's a fucking rope-a-dope, guys, and you're paying for all of it. Every fucking nickel you're paying for. All the bombs, all the soldiers, all the loans we give out to all the infrastructure, protecting all the waterways, which actually I do believe in that. But we're paying for all of it. We pay to create the problem. We pay to fix the problem. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit, guys. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of paying for the boomers' retirement. I'm tired of paying to protect the boomers' housing industry. I'm tired of protecting the healthcare industry. I'm fucking tired of it. Give the people their money back. Sorry, long rant there. David, I appreciate your comment, dude. And again, for those guys who don't know, a lot of people don't agree with me. I don't have popular opinions most of the time, and I love to joust you guys. So if you disagree with me, put the comment down. I'm happy to have it. I'd love to listen to you guys educate me on things. Like, I'm always open to new information. I'm always open to learning new things, and I'm happy to hear it. So, all right, Elizabeth says, let's see, if there were more of you, we'd not still. If there were more of you, he'd not still be off. You know what? The thing about Liz is, like, there were a lot of me and a lot of people that believed in what I believed in. Donald Trump got 80 million votes. This is the most votes since Ronald Reagan, right? He won a lot of states. He won all the swing states. He won the popular vote. This doesn't generally happen for Republican politicians. They're just not populist enough in most cases. Trump won all that stuff. And the one thing he didn't run on was new wars, right? He didn't run on making money off the presidency, right? He didn't run on tariffs and then backing off of them, right? He didn't run on letting more immigrants into this country. He didn't run any of that shit. And again, I'm not saying that he's wrong or he's right. What I'm saying is when you elect a politician, they're supposed to do what the fuck they were elected to do. And the voter, I need to put on a t-shirt, right? At this point, I've said it so many times. The voter is allowed to be wrong. This is how I see it, So, anyway, but Liz, I like your comment. Son says, you saw Trump did, let me see where I'm at in the comments, guys. Okay, I'm doing good. You saw Trump did a rug pull with Trump, but yeah, but apparently he got super rich, right? Everyone that invested got fucked, but Trump made a bunch of money, right? Go figure. Trump always seems, when it comes to the presidency, Trump seems to always make money because he always seems to have the right information at the right time, right? We used to call this insider trading. We used to call this corruption, but the FCC doesn't seem to be interested, So the Democrats, they don't seem to be interested. The Republicans don't seem to be interested. Everyone's just willing to let this guy do whatever he wants to do because it serves their ends. And this is not good for America, not good for the average taxpayer. All right, Liz saying, it's insane. He talks in front of a camera one day, says he didn't say it the next, and Congress just falls in line. Yeah, I don't understand this. And I say it all the time. Like, if Trump was a parent, right, and America was his children, right, if you constantly said the things to your kids that Trump says to America, your kids wouldn't believe a fucking thing you had to say. They would have no confidence in you, no faith in you. They would have no idea what's real. They wouldn't know what to believe because you're lying to them. You're contradicting yourselves. Like you said, Liz, you're saying one thing one day and then saying something completely different the next day. Like, you can't live in this kind of world. But Trump is a megalomaniac, right? And this isn't a word you hear a lot of, but a megalomaniac is someone who believes that they can bend reality into being what they think it needs to be. And the difference between most megalomaniacs and Donald Trump is megalomaniacs are generally crazy. They're slightly psychotic. The problem with a guy like Trump is Trump has the power. Like, Trump can literally bend reality into being what he wants it to be. And it's very chaotic for you and I who are living in reality, you know? So, Liz, yeah, I agree 100%. All right, so this is, all right, all of Congress, fuck them all. Yeah, Congress is disgusting. And this is the thing that the Founding Fathers didn't understand. The Founding Fathers created a great document and a great government structure, but what they didn't anticipate was that these three branches of government, right? You got the judicial, the executive, and the congressional, right? They didn't think that these three groups would all agree with each other and would let each group do what they wanted to do. They thought that they would all fight with each other for power and relevance. And Congress has completely abdicated its responsibility. Why Trump is able to do this war in Iran makes no sense to me. Trump had 60 days. And then he's like, oh, well, I guess we're going to cancel the war. We got this memorandum of understanding. And now he's like, well, I guess the war is back on now. New 60 days. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why hasn't Congress pulled the money for this, right? And the reason Trump is able to get away with this is because America has lost its grip on reality, right? So America seems to think that the only time they care about war is if you're potentially going to send their sons and daughters, right? You're going to send their dad. You're going to send their mom. Then they seem to care. This is fucked, right? This is why Congress has the responsibility and the duty of declaring war or ending a war. And Congress is not doing it. They're not doing it. I don't know why. You guys are paying $2 billion today because money doesn't matter. You know, we're using $4 million Patriot missiles to shoot down $30,000 drones, and we'll do it forever. And when we don't want to fund this war, we want to fund the military, the Congress, or excuse me, the executive branch will print the money. The Fed will print the money. And now we're at the monetary part of the equation, which Sun knows all about, which is fucked. You know, we got this guy Kevin Warsh in there who's been a inflation hawk for his entire career. You know, said we've got to get inflation under control. Inflation needs to be 2%. What's he do when it comes time to raise the interest rates to get inflation down? Nah, we'll just let it ride. We're living in Gonzo world, guys. Like, we're living in Bozo land. Like, nothing is real. So, okay, Liz and Troy, is he going to fall asleep on camera? I don't know, man. Trump's a vampire, man. Like, say what you will about Trump. His diet's shit. His exercise routine is shit. He treats his body like shit. Looks healthy as a horse to me. Eats McDonald's, loves Diet Coke. Good for the guy, you know, whatever, man, like, good for him. You know, I don't know that he's going to doze off. I don't know if the guy's ever going to, you know, he doesn't sleep very much. And this is just how this guy is. And that's the great thing about being a human. Like, we're all different, you know, and this guy seems to operate on little sleep, McDonald's, and Diet Coke, and tweeting, and being in front of a camera, and good for him. You know, he loves making money. He loves using insider information and creating policy that benefits his family and big business, you know, and good for him. Like, whatever, man. All right, my general area is Payapula, Granum, Spanaway. I don't know any of those areas, Liz. And I feel like I should, but like I've got my uncle lives in Tacoma. Um, I lived in St. Helens, so I just I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't know your area. I feel like I know Washington pretty well, but I don't recognize anything that you're saying there. So pile up. Yeah, I'm sorry, Liz, but 26 here and 26 years in Portland. Okay, well, yeah, we know Portland. Portland, man, what a shithole that place is. My dad's lived there for 70 years. He says he doesn't even recognize Portland anymore. Okay, lost my husband last year, selling my big house and moving to Olympia. Okay, Olympia, there we go. Well, Liz, sorry to hear that. We're all getting older. I don't know how old you are. Not to get morbid, but I was just telling my mom the other day that, like, I get on Facebook and I see that a lot of people are dying, and it's just a sign of we're all getting older. And I don't know about you, Liz, but as I get older, I'm 46. I'm about to turn 47. What I'm learning is that it's important that we as parents and older people, that we prepare the younger generation for life. And I'm a business owner. I've been working on my business for almost 10 years now, and I really wanted to pass my business on to my kids. And I don't think it's going to happen. Like, they're not interested. They don't want to work with their hands. They want to work with their minds. And that's all well and good. But you got to make some fucking money, And I see that the younger generation, in my opinion, is unprepared to deal with the realities of life, and I see these older people that taught me, they're all dying off, so like my dad is 70, God, I want to say he's like 72. I think he turns 72 this year. And I'm realizing that I need to go get his knowledge. He's a lifelong welder. He's a master welder. And I need to go learn what he did. I never did. I became a furniture maker. But I need to go learn that stuff. And I see, like, people that I used to get education from on exercise and fitness, they're dying. People I used to work with are dying. As I get older, I'm seeing more and more. I'm seeing more of the circle of life, is what I'm saying, Liz. And I'm sorry to hear that your husband passed. I hope you're doing the best you can. And I think about, somebody will think about, like, my wife dying. It's just like, fuck, man, like, it's terrible, it makes you want to cry in a way. It's like, what would I do without this person? And, Liz, I hope that, being on here is, gives you something to do to occupy your time, and gives you some things to think about. There's a little bit of catharsis, talk with other people, because that's what I do. I work so much that my coworkers, the people that I employ, these are my family. Like, they're literally my family. There are no other people in my life, really. It's my wife and my work and my wife's mom and our kids, and that's basically it. So, Liz, you sound like an interesting person. I love where you live, and I love hearing a little bit about your life. So, thanks for sharing. Yeah. So Olympia and Lacey. All right. Let's see. We truly don't need the Middle. Well, it's not that we don't even need the Middle East. Like, I think that I think there's a lot of cool things about the Middle East. The fact that the place exists is impressive unto itself, because, I mean, really, it's essentially a large desert and huge, barren mountains with a fuck ton of oil. So the fact that this place exists is kind of interesting. But, we need their energy. We need their fertilizer. They do have great knowledge and information. It's great that they buy like I said, I used to work in aerospace. It's great that they buy our jets. They buy our 747s. Think about the Saudi princes and the Saudi kings and all that. They only fly on jets that have 4 engines. It was like a thing for them for a long time. I don't know if it's still they might use 777s now, but they used to only use 747s because they wanted to have the four engines on their jets. So I don't believe that we don't need them, but we shouldn't be beholden to them, right? When they say, "Oh, you better protect us," or "You better do this, otherwise we're not going to give you, our one resource, which is oil." Like, fuck you, man. Like, we're not creating policy to protect you. I'm sorry. We're not creating policy to protect the little state of Israel. I'm sorry. We're just not going to do it. You guys want to be partners on things. You want to create things and sell us stuff that's really useful. Great. We're happy to buy it. We'd love to be a customer, but we're not going to facilitate the genocide of poor people. I'm sorry. We're just not going to do it. We're too fucking wealthy to lower ourselves to deal with your bullshit. So anyway, sorry. All right, tell us about your business. Sounds like you might have been juggling lots of. Yeah, so son, let me see where I'm at, guys. Okay, I'm doing okay in comments. So yeah, the business is really busy, son. We're having a very busy year. I'm looking at buying another company in Florida, and it's a complementary company. So for those of you guys who don't know, we have a manufacturing and paint business. We hand make furniture here in America, and we make hardware, solid brass hardware in the country of India. And so we do all this right here in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's a great little business. We got I think about 10 or 11 employees right now, and we do 1.5 million in revenue is kind of where we're at. And it's a great little business. You know, we don't make a ton of money, but you know, we make enough to live a decent life. And we generally try to take good care of our employees. But we got an opportunity to buy a business that is in the design space that deals with wealthy people like we do, and has more to do with like fabrics and smalls, but more importantly has a large retail presence, right? So they have a very nice store. And one of the things that we could do with that company if we were to buy them is to take their clientele, merge it with our clientele, and then add our furniture, which is a very high-end, well-known furniture brand, to this company in Florida. And then we could then turn that into a business that does, you know, maybe $4 to $5 million in revenue. This current business is doing about the same revenue that we do, so maybe, you know, that 1.5 kind of range. And we hope to turn that into a business that does maybe $3 to $5 million a year in revenue. And we want to use our savvy when it comes to marketing, specifically internet marketing, to help this business grow, because this business does almost no internet marketing, right? And we are strictly an internet-based company with the capacity to build furniture, you know, and paint furniture. So anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. We're just busy with a lot of custom projects, a lot of sales. It's just a busy time of year. It's getting ready to get even busier. We're moving into the busiest time of the year for a furniture company, which is moving into the holiday season. So yeah, I've just been super busy, dude, and I just I miss doing these casts. I miss talking to you guys and listening to what, you know, you're wanting to talk about, what you guys got going on, telling you guys what I got going on. And truth is that I haven't been taking the time. I haven't been prioritizing it, and I want to do it again because you know, there's, you know, it's kind of missing in my life. And other things that I've been working on this massive kitchen remodel project in my house, and it's just it's a very time-consuming thing. So a lot of work at work, a lot of work in the house, and then not taking enough time to do things that I want to do. You know, so this is one of the things I like to do, and I'm going to take more time to do it. You know, so all right, I appreciate you asking, dude. All right, CMA is here. CMA 68. Trump is a failure. Regret my vote. Yeah, CMA, I'm the same. I'm the same, man. I really thought that Trump would do well, because they, like, the Democrats went after him, the deep state went after him. They tried to fucking kill him. They tried to bankrupt his company. And I'm like, oh my God, I want this guy in office so bad. He's going to go after these people and just up the ass like every hour. He is just going to go scorched earth on these people, and I'm going to be here to watch all of it. And none of it happened. None of it happened. Like, we got some tariffs, which were kind of interesting. I remember doing a lot of talks about tariffs, and I thought tariffs were a lot of fun. And I really was excited at the idea of sticking it to China and sticking it to Vietnam specifically. But Supreme Court knocked him down, and you know, it didn't happen. You know, and apparently there's talk about more tariffs coming online, and maybe that'll happen. I don't know, maybe. We'll see what happens. My guess is Trump is just going to use the presidency to enrich himself and his family. He'll probably pardon himself and everyone on the way out the door, and he's just gonna leave the presidency stupid rich, doesn't give a fuck about the American people. He doesn't really care about his legacy. He thought that he'd go to the Middle East, create Middle East peace over there, and get himself on Mount Rushmore, but he's realizing that's actually really difficult, and he needs to get Congress involved on some things, but he's not interested, you know. So Trump's just going to enrich himself and his family, and I hope that when everyone sees that guy's name, they piss on it, you know, because I'm with you, CMA. I think that this guy just royally fucked all of us. He took all of our hopes and dreams and balled them up into a big pile of toilet paper and wiped his ass with them. And I'm really sad about it, because I think that this country could have really done some good, you know, could have really got some payback, and could have really made the small average American feel like their vote mattered. Like they got to say, like, yeah, I got this motherfucker in there, and he's going to take it to these people. And it didn't happen. And so we're watching Trump get rich while we all pay shit tons of money for gas and diesel. Homes are unaffordable. Healthcare is unaffordable. He gave you guys a fucking tax cut, and then he took it all back in the form of paying for the average daily existence here in America. And it's just really sad, So CMA, I appreciate your comment, dude. All right, so it says, the founding fathers knew it's just Tree of Liberty time. Yeah, I love that saying. The Tree of Liberty needs to be watered with the blood of tyrants. I love that quote. It's so good. And yeah, it probably is. I say it all the time, son, and it's totally outlandish, but I really think that we need one state that's willing to say, you know what, we're not paying the federal government any more money. We'll pay you guys whatever 7% of our state's revenue, and then we're not paying anymore, and we're going to protect our people so that when the IRS comes after you, whatever, the state of Florida, the state of Texas, the state of California, whoever wants to be the state that's willing to push back against the federal government, will say, get fucked. And then when the federal government sends the FBI down to come after you, or sends the IRS to come down after a citizen in the state of Florida says, you know what, you can't come in here anymore. And then when the federal government says, well, you know what, we're not going to give you any more highway dollars, we're not going to give you any more education dollars, the state of Florida or the state of Texas or the state of Idaho says, you know what, motherfucker, we don't need it. We don't want your money. We'll pay for our own people. The money we're not sending the federal government, guess what? We can pay for our own roads, and we can pay for our own Medicare, and we can take care of our own retired people. Federal government, go fuck yourself. And that's what I'm waiting for. So yeah, blood of tyrants. Maybe Texas is the first state. Maybe Missouri, where I'm at, is the first state. Hell, maybe a blue state. Maybe enough people in my state of Illinois says, you know what? Fuck Cook County. We're going to take this state over. We're not paying any fucking taxes to the federal government anymore. We're done. Maybe that's something. I got no idea, son, So, yeah, but I love what you're saying there. The Tree of Liberty, it's about time. Pat Paulson, Illinois. Pat, good to see you, dude. Trump is the best president ever. Trump for king of Greenland. Yeah, that's cool, dude. I'm glad you like Trump, and there's a lot of people that do, and good for you. I like Trump too, but he's a shitty president, in my opinion. The Greenland thing, nothing happened, right? He's not going to do anything. He's just talking shit, and that's what the guy does, which is really sad because presidency is a very serious thing. And Trump just throwing shit against the wall, figuring out what sticks, is not helping you or I one bit. Ground beef is $8 a pound. Gasoline's $4 a gallon. Diesel's $5 a gallon. Average home price is $408,000. You all got a shit ton of federal student loan debt that you can't do jack shit with. You can't make a fucking decent salary anymore because the federal government's inflating your wealth away. They're inflating your dollars away. The cost of everything is going through the roof. The value of everything you own is worth nothing. And by the way, the wealthy people are buying up all the assets. Anything that's worth anything, the wealthy are just buying it up. And so, yeah, but whatever, man. Trump can go get Greenland, whatever, man. CMA 68, the three branches, executive, judicial, and legislative. Thank you. Sorry, I called it congressional. Thank you. I didn't graduate high school, man. So I appreciate being corrected. Thank you. You're 100% right, man. All right, Pat Paulson, best staff ever. You may be living there. He lives in your head for free. Yeah, Pat Paulson, that's funny. You're 100% right. David Goggins talks about this, you want to live rent-free in people's heads. You want to have such an effect on them, they can't fucking get you out of their mind. I love when David Goggins says, I wanted to be in their head so much that when they were trying to get, when they're trying to, fuck, they couldn't get a boner because they were thinking about me. It's Trump, he's the king at that, and again, that's one of the reasons I haven't do a lot of these casts. I just haven't want to talk about politics. I would much rather listen to 38 Special and old Eddie Money songs and fucking whatever, the plot, the plot within, and listen to old, I don't know, what, just All That Remains, Kill Switch Engage. I just want to listen to old music. I'm tired of politics. It's just, politics don't matter. It's all a uniparty to get your guys' tax dollars. If you cut off the federal gravy train, if you cut off the Medicare, right, get rid of the Medicaid, get rid of the Social Security, get rid of the subsidies for education, the subsidies for health insurance, get rid of all of it, get the federal government out of subsidizing everything, watch how quickly this country changes. But it's not going to happen, so. But Pat, man, I appreciate being here, dude. I like when people call me on my bullshit. People don't agree with me. People do agree with me. I like it all, So I just like to engage with people. It's very it's nice. Okay, let's see. Your kids are lazy. No, my kids aren't lazy. My kids are actually hyper intelligent. Two of them were cum laude. One went to UCLA. The other one goes to a prestigious college in Kansas City. Wildly successful academically. And I'll just leave it at that, So that's all I got, man. Okay, 5 years to be just a journeyman welder. Yeah, well, and Pat Paulson, like I said, my dad's a lifelong welder. Did his entire life as a master welder. And he finished up as head of the Portland School District, right? He was the guy that maintained and managed all the boiler systems for the entire Portland School District. So Dad did pretty well. So this idea that you can make a shit ton of money in the trades right out of getting your certification or going to trade school is just a crock of shit. And I'm fucking tired of these people saying that, that's all you got to do, just go to trade school. By the time, whatever, a couple million people go to trade school, what do you think happens to those jobs? The same thing having the business degree, right? They're worth nothing. You go from making $80,000 a year coming out of trade school to making $50,000 a year coming out of trade school because there's a fucking million welders and a million linemen and a million furniture makers and a million HVAC techs, and a million CNC operators, and the value of that trade degree or that trade certificate, whatever, just goes down and 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 down. So. All right, who said anything about the Middle East? Okay, Pat Paulson, everyone's talking about the Middle East, dude. All right, buy a manure factory, you produce loads. All right, thanks, Pat, appreciate it. I did think about buying, I would love to buy a septic cleaning company, right? Septic tank cleaning company. I like business. I think it'd be one of those businesses, it's recession proof, right? People always are making shit, and so there's always septic tanks that need to be cleaned out. I have a septic tank. Everyone in my neighborhood has a septic tank. There's lots of them. So yeah, whatever, man. But appreciate your comment, dude. All right, Son says, what range did you get, aka heating surface? Son, I'm not sure what you're saying there, dude. He's a great president. Okay, well, Pat, let me know what you like. Let me know what are some of the great things that Trump's done, because I'd love to hear it, man. I can name great things that Trump's done. Like Trump, he got rid of, I read something like 250,000 federal works. I think that's a great thing. But at the end of the day, it saves the government like $2 billion a year. They're printing, which is above and beyond what they budgeted, $3 trillion a year. Trump has printed more money than any president in history. And that's bullshit. He's supposed to be a conservative Republican. What the fuck is he conserving? Not conserving nothing. But I would love to know. All right, since zero Epstein arrests and a new war. Yeah, and again, there's gonna be no Epstein arrests, son. There's gonna be no government arrests. There's gonna be no deep state arrests. There's gonna be no accountability for anybody in government, because the people that come in next want to be able to operate the same system. You can't arrest the people that came before you, because then the people that come after you would then have to arrest you because of your corruption. This is not going to happen. And it's a shitty system, you guys. It's really bad. And when they tell you, oh God, one vote, one person, one vote, your vote matters. Like, no, you're given two shitty options. It's really bad, So that's why I'm of the opinion that we need. We don't necessarily need a civil war, but we need one state to secede from the federal government and make a go of it. And if you could get a state like Florida that has a very high tourist dollars, it has a very strong economy, a lot of wealthy people living there, that could be the state that does it. But I don't know if they've got, there's so many states that are wedded to federal tax dollars that I don't know if any state that, there aren't many states that could do it. Florida is the only one that I can think of, maybe Texas, but that's about it. I just don't know how any other state could possibly get off the tit of federal money, so. All right, says, yeah, Trump made like $1 billion or something off his Trump coin rug pull. Yeah, man, it's disgusting, son. Trump is, again, Trump's the ultimate parasite. He makes Joe Biden look like a pomper. Makes him look like fucking Thoreau, out there living in, fucking Nowheresville in the forest. Yeah, Trump's the king parasite for sure. All right, Craig Linscomb 9671. Craig Linscomb. Can't say your last name. Greg, appreciate being here. So glad to hear your company's doing well. Yeah, Greg. Companies do well. Like I said, I think a lot of people that own businesses are doing pretty well. One of the secrets to my business is that I service the wealthy, right? And I said at the beginning of the cast, like we're in a K-shaped economy, guys. Like the economy is moving to where the chasm between the haves and the have-nots is growing, right? You're getting more millionaires, more billionaires than ever, and you're getting more people on welfare and more poor people than ever. And Trump will say, oh my God, jobs numbers are amazing, more people working than ever. And what they don't tell you is that if you look at the job numbers, what you actually have is you have more people not participating in the job force than ever. The people that are in the workforce, they're working 2 and 3 jobs. More than ever, and this ain't good for society, guys. It's not good for the country. It's not good for people's well-being. And I say it all the time, like if we don't get people back to fucking and having kids, this country's done. We're gonna have to import people to do all the work because we can't have enough kids, because again, kids are considered a burden now. And that's the only metric that really matters at the end of the day, guys. Like I said, and I say this as a guy, I was never a good father. I was never a fatherly person. I was never a person that wanted to have a bunch of kids. All I wanted to do was work. I just wanted to work and make shit and be awesome. And that's all I ever wanted to do. I didn't think of myself as being a dad, as needing to reproduce to replace myself. I never had that mindset. But as I get older in life, I'm realizing like that's almost the only thing that matters. Unless you want to import everyone, we got to incentivize young people to have kids, man. We need a lot of oops babies. We need a lot less birth control. We need affordable housing. We need more women staying at home. Sorry, women. Just how I see it. We need more people staying at home watching kids. We need more. Schools. Small batch schools. We need more communities that like children, that are geared towards having children, taking care of children, incentivizing children, child-friendly. We need more of that shit, guys. And we're just not wanting to do it. And I don't know how to fix it. I got an idea. But the first thing you do is stop fighting wars. Give the people their money back. Give the states the money. Stop sending to the federal government. Like the more money you guys send to the federal government, the less choice you have as a citizen. When you can, if you don't like the politics in the state of Oregon, right? They want trannies and fucking gay people. Well, you can move to, I don't know, I'm trying to pick a red state. Like a Florida. You can pick a Florida where they fucking hate homos. They don't like income taxes. Whatever. You have choices, but when the federal government gets involved, guess what? You have no choice. And this is the problem. We have too many. We have less choice now than we've ever had. Like the academic standards are set at the federal level. The tax system is set at the federal level. There's just, you can't go anywhere to have competition between your states, between your country. There's nowhere to go because everyone relies on the federal government to give them money. And this is why your politicians do the exact same thing. You'll vote for shitty candidate 1 and shitty candidate 2 because at the end of the day, their job is just to go to the federal government and say, give me money. I'm successful representative. I'm a successful senator if I bring that sweet, sweet federal money back to my state. And this is the problem. And we can't wrap our heads around this as a country. We can't wrap our heads around the idea that your neighbor's money ain't your fucking money. It's not, but on the other side, your job as a business owner and as a citizen of your community is to fucking hire the people in it. Your job is to give them work, to help them to have a better life so they can have kids and have families and make houses and learn shit and teach people to do shit. Like this is how the economy is supposed to work, and it just doesn't work that way, guys. Like I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I say this as a business owner. I say this as a guy who, my job is literally to hire and fire people, to teach people shit. Like we just don't do that, And we're moving into and again, I'm sorry guys, I'm getting long-winded here. We're moving into a really scary time in this country where the federal government is actively trying to put you guys all on public assistance. Whether it's just you go to school forever, you're on UBI, you're doing Section 8, WIC, food stamps, SNAP, whatever they call it. You get your fucking government pays for your phone, pays for your Netflix subscription. Just vote for me. And this is that's bad news, guys. Bad news. All right, Pat Paulson. Right, arrest Tom Hanks, Whoopi, and Oprah. I don't know if you got to arrest those people. Those guys live in a world you guys will never, I will never understand it. Like they live in a completely different world. Sun says, yes, you probably should. I bet you anything. Tom Hanks is a pedo for sure. What about two others? I like Tom Hanks. I've always liked him in his movies. I love, like, you guys ever seen The Money Pit? Like, it's fucking gold. That movie's amazing. Or Big. Like, this was Joe versus the Volcano. Like, I love Tom Hanks. But he says some weird stuff, doesn't he? You know, but that's the internet, guys. Like, it used to be these people were in a rarefied air. Like, if you wanted to see anything with an actor, you had to go buy a magazine, right? You had to wait to see them in the movies, right? You had to wait for them to show up on, you know, a late night show, like, you know, whatever, Craig Kilborn, you know, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever. Like, you had to wait for this stuff. And now it's everywhere. They can just say whatever they want. You're realizing, like, these people are just like you and I. Like, they're fucking retarded. They've got dumb opinions on some things, and they got amazing opinions on others. They agree with me. They don't agree with me. Like, it's all access all the time. And I don't know if that's good. So, all right. Let's see if we're going to Epstein. All right. Pat, I'm sure you're saying there, says, Pat says, I can't name a Republican that went. A Republican that went to Epstein Island? How about Howard Lutnick? He's a Republican. He's in Trump's cabinet. He's the head of commerce. He literally bought Epstein's house. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's one, you know. Like, maybe the most important one. He's literally in the cabinet that is running the country right now. What are you talking about? Not one Republican? How about the guy that owns Hyatt? J.B. Pritzker's cousin, Tom Pritzker. He went to Epstein. What about him? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like this channel was literally founded on Epstein, like the Epstein files. Like, I can go into depth on Epstein. Brett Ratner, one of the most successful producers in Hollywood, Republican, right? I don't know about Lex Wexler. I'm not sure. I won't speak to that because I don't honestly know. But there's plenty of Republicans that went to Epstein Island, right? Do you guys remember the Prime Minister of Israel? I'm guessing he's a pretty Republican type person, right? Might not have the moniker of Republican, but again, he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein about, like, oh my God, what do I do to make money after I'm no longer Prime Minister? And Epstein's like, well, hey, you need to call Palantir, you know, you need to call these companies, you know, in order to figure out how to make money after you're no longer Prime Minister of the country of Israel. Like, trust me, this isn't a Republican or Democrat issue, Paul. This is an everybody issue. This is everyone in the federal government is corrupt. Their only job is to get your tax dollars into their pockets. Your tax dollars rarely go into your pocket, and this is the problem. So, excuse me, Pat, I appreciate your comment, man. All right, boy, we're deleting messages. Okay, Pat Paulson, 1108. Don't forget autism payments, child care payments. Pat, I'm not sure what you're saying there about the whole payments thing. So my son has autism, so I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Add in the comments, and I will read it. All right, Biden proved that he did. Biden proved that did he? Okay, again, I'm not sure. Child care payments. Sorry, Pat. I'd like to think I'm informed, but I'm apparently not informed. Okay. See, that's the green. Okay, the Green New Deal. It's all the Green New Deal. It's all a scam, dude. Like the Green New Deal is essentially using climate change to extract tax dollars. It all comes back to tax dollars. Pat, it doesn't matter Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. The idea is to get your tax dollars to subsidize things, whether it's war, green energy, you know, electric cars, going to space. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, dude. It's just to get your tax dollars. That's it. You need to cut it off. The federal paying for, you know, industries, protecting industries like AI, you got to get the tax dollars out, dude. Like, it's just, like I said, sorry, Pat. I hear what you're saying, dude, and I like carbon credits and all that shit. Like, I think it's all fucking horseshit. Solar panels, fucking horseshit. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's just the whole program is to get your tax dollars. But they want you to think that that person's fucking you when it's both parties are fucking you, dude. Like, that's kind of it. All right, Greg says some states pay more than they get back. Others take more than they should. Yeah, I mean, people often cite like states like Kentucky. They'll cite, you know, Mississippi, Louisiana, these kind of states. They'll always say, well, these states get more money than they pay it. Like, great. I agree with that. And you're 100% right. Cut it off. It's just that simple. Louisiana can't pay for its citizens. Okay, well, I guess it's going to have to get creative, right? Maybe it's going to have to wheel and deal with Florida, or maybe it's going to have to start talking to Alabama, right? So Louisiana, for those of you guys who don't know, has a major timber industry, right? So maybe they need to start working with Oregon, or they need to start working with Washington, which also has an amazing timbers, and they just got to start getting their synergies together and start seeing how they can help each other make more money. Right? Maybe then you start talking to Florida. Hey, how do we get these Florida tourist dollars down here? We got New Orleans, but hey, people haven't been up to Baton Rouge lately. Maybe we need to, get some tourists going on up there, right? Maybe we need to start developing more of these industries, and start working with these other states. That's not what we do. The representatives, the state representatives and the senators, they just go to Washington and say, you know what? We need some of that sweet, sweet federal tax money. Oh, and guess what? I could get my people to vote for me if I can get that sweet, sweet federal tax money. And this is the problem, guys. You need competition. If you guys, I say this all the time. Do you guys remember COVID? You guys remember how all the edicts and the mandates were coming out of the federal government? And, Florida was like, fuck you, we're not shutting down. Suck my Florida cock. I'm not shutting down because of the flu. Meanwhile, my home state of Oregon is like, oh my God, everyone stay home, wrap yourself in bubble wrap, get all your PPE on, and be a bitch forever. And let's just stay locked down. We're going to pay everyone to stay home. We're going to pay all the teachers to teach everyone we're going to be locked down forever. And what happened? Everyone bailed out of the West Coast. They all moved over to Florida. All the people in New York, the East, the North, the Northeast, they all left. They all went down to Florida. And we need that for everything, guys. We need it for everything. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to bash the West Coast or the Northeast or liberal states, but and again, I live in Illinois, right? Like a ton of business have left Illinois and moved down to Florida, right? You need that competition in every aspect of life. This creates innovation. It creates better systems. It creates better products. It creates better services. We don't have that because every state is going to the federal government saying, hey, what do you want, federal government? It's like that old skit. God, what's that movie? I'm drawing a blank, where it's like, I suck your dick. And that's what it is. Like if Louisiana's going to federal government and say, I'll suck your dick, just give me some money. California, I suck your dick, just give me some money. Florida, I suck your dick, just give me some money. Everyone's trying to suck the federal government's dick because they want that money, because they can take that money back to their state and use it to buy votes. And this is bad. It's bad news, guys. So anyway, sorry. I know it's a very crass way to put it, but this is how I see it. And I'm a crass guy. I said dumb guy. All right, let's see. Pat, Pat, you too. Good night. Glad you're here doing it. And again, come back. I'll try to do more of these chats. We talk about all kinds of things. But Pat, appreciate you doing it. We don't always agree, but again, I love when people show up and make their voice heard. Okay, you have to really know your shit. Let's see, word nerd, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but you got to know it in all kinds of facets, so I guess I agree with the crux of what you say. See, for your kitchen, what range you get? Okay, son, so we got a Le Cornu Cornefay 110 range. So Google it, you guys will shit your pants. It's cost of a car. Yeah, and we got a Decor French range, or French refrigerator. And we got a Miele dishwasher, which is, I believe they're a German company, son. So I bought some nice shit. My wife likes nice shit. I think we're doing Schumacher paper for the back thing. I custom built all the cabinets. We're doing brass for the back of it. I custom built a bell-shaped hood for my wife for the range, so we're going all out. And son, I told people in the earlier part of the cast, our house is a marketing tool, so a lot of the stuff, most of the stuff will be written off, which is nice, but so take it with a grain of salt. Not everyone can write off a kitchen for their house. Okay, let's see. Wordner says, okay, we're not going to go back to it. You have to really know your shit. Okay, Wordner says, close the border. Fuck politics. So, Wordner, I think you're saying that Trump closed the border. You're 100% right, man. He absolutely did. And the problem with what Trump did with closing the border, and I argue with people all the time, oh, Trump closed the border. Biden had it open. Trump closed the border. Biden had it open, okay? So, if every year when Biden was in office, the director of the Department of Homeland Security, whose name was Alejandro Mayorkas, If every year he went before Congress, which he is congressionally mandated to do, if every year when he was being interrogated by Congress, and every year he said the border's secure, the border's safe, only legal immigrants are coming over the border, and he was knowingly lying to the American people and lying to Congress under oath, and then we watch 10 to 20 million people come into this country illegally during Biden's administration. Then Trump comes in on a campaign of mass deportations, going after the deep state, going after the corruption, closing the border, building the border wall, these kind of things. And Trump closes the border essentially by snapping his fingers. Aren't you a little bit frustrated with the fact that he has not gone back and charged Alejandro Mayorkas or Joe Biden or Joe Biden's chief of staff, right? Starts with the P, I forget, I'm drawing a blank. And not went after any of these people for, I won't call it treason, but whatever charge you want to put up there. Like, he has not gone back and went after any of these people. Like, don't you find that to be kind of frustrating? Like, doesn't that kind of bother you? Is there some kind of a perjury at minimum? Is there any kind of accountability for lying to the American people for 4 years in a row? Like, shouldn't there be something? And there isn't. So people will say that Trump closed the border, and I agree, but he hasn't done the job. He hasn't done what he was voted into office to do. And that's a problem, So it's Trump gets an L on the border, as far as I'm concerned. You can close it because it's easy to do, but to lie about it year after year after year, the media was complicit, Congress was complicit, and nobody did anything about it. Like, to me, that's I want to use the word treason so bad. It's not technically the definition of treason, So there's got to be a crime there, So anyway. That's kind of how I say it, word nerd, but I appreciate your comment, dude. Okay, Rick Martinez, good to see you, dude. See, God bless Trump. All right, cool. Rick, let us know what you like about Trump. Let us know what he's done well for you, and I'm glad you like Trump. So appreciate being here. Sedona, at 3688 Water. Sedona Water, AOC 2020. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know. She seems wildly unqualified to be president. She's decent looking. She's got a nice rack on her, but I don't know if being a bartender and a college graduate makes you qualified to be president, but whatever. I don't know much about her. I know that she got Amazon to not come to her district, so I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing. But I don't know much about AOC. She gets a lot of attention, and I just don't. I know she's kind of a looker. I'm a comic book collector. Apparently, there was a comic book that did a cover with her. She sued them, and if you could find those comic books that have the cover with her on it, they're worth a shit ton of money. So that's all I know about her. Sorry. Let's see, Chris. CMA 68. Trump's a major disappointment. Yes, CMA, and again, like, Trump had a lot of potential. I think that he had all the pieces in place to really wreak havoc on the deep state and really go after this government, especially after what happened to him, and then winning the popular vote. Like, that's really, I don't know if people underestimate how much of a big deal that was for a Republican, and they underestimate how much it is, how important it was Trump winning the swing states as a Republican. Like, and he's a divisive guy, but his message was so palpable. It resonated with so many people, and he did fuck all with it. He sold us all out for the state of Israel. He sold us all out to enrich his family, and it's really frustrating, And again, on the immigration thing, Trump, a lot of people say, oh, he closed the border. Trump's tough on immigration. Okay, well, he's doubling the amount of HB2 visa workers. These are your agricultural workers. He's not going after any of the meat packing plants. He's not going after the housing industry, the house construction industry. He's not going after the hotel industry. He's not going after anyone where all these workers reside. He's not working on putting E-Verify in place. He's not doing fucking anything. Because he understands that America needs workers. People aren't fucking. They're not having kids. So we need these people in this country. We need them to keep the country going. Because if it's up to Whitey to keep the country going, guess what? The country breaks. Whitey doesn't want to work anywhere. Whitey gets frustrated when you call him names. Whitey gets frustrated when they hear profanity. Whitey gets frustrated when you tell gay jokes or black jokes or white jokes or Asian jokes. Whitey wants an education. Whitey wants a degree. Whitey wants to work in an office. Whitey wants anything but to get dirty. You know, I say this as a white guy. You know, so the only alternative is to bring Jose in here. Well, that's it. You know, bring Habibi in here, and that's where we're at. You know, no one wants to have kids, and your federal government's making it so expensive that, you know, if heaven forbid you don't pull out and you knock some chick up, you know, like, you're fucked. Like, I don't know about you guys. I paid. My wife makes fun of me. She says I paid about $200,000 to have a kid. You know, and she's right. You know, that's what it is. I just paid fucking massive child support payments for about 12 years, and then I didn't really get to see my kid at all. I didn't really get to fucking have a say on his life. I didn't really get to do much of anything because I'm a guy, and the family court's fucked. The family court doesn't give a shit about men. All they want is your money. They want your labor. They want your taxes, and that's all they want, you know? So, you got to work on this country, guys. You know, so I appreciate your comment, CMA. I agree with you. Trump's a major disappointment. All right, Chris Mizuno, is it Mizuno? Chris Mizuno? So Trump didn't close the border. Well, I think he did more than Biden did, Chris. You know, so if you want to elaborate, on that, you know, feel free to. Biden saved America, Chris. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, but let us know what he did, and I'm happy to go back to order. Biden was suspended. I think that Biden was pissed off because Trump got to spend all that money during COVID, and Biden's like, fuck that, we're Democrats, we're the ones that are supposed to spend the money. And so then he's like, well, I'm going to do the CHIPS Act, I'm going to do the SAVE Act, and I'm going to fucking spend all this money, and this is what Democrats do. And he just exacerbated this inflation problem that we have today, and he started what Trump, or excuse me, he continued what Trump started, which was insane money printing. And that's where we're at today, you know. So Biden isn't any worse than Trump. He's the same as Trump. You know, he's the Democrats, the Republicans are all the same, guys. So for those of you guys, like I said, you guys don't, you want to listen to someone who talks a lot like me, who's much more popular, go listen to a guy named Owen Schroyer. You know, I listen to this guy quite a bit. He's young. He's like, I'm going to say he's in his 30s. And he talks a lot about the same stuff that I talk about. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. It's a fucking America issue. It's getting back to, you know, what this country was, you know, having families, starting businesses, your kids take over the business, generational businesses, you know, not paying a shit ton in taxes, buying homes, you know, buying locally, supporting your community, taking care of your community, you know, taking not only care of your kids, taking care of your neighbors' kids, like this kind of stuff. And we just, like, it's all gone, guys. Like, it's so sad to see what's happening. Again, as I get older in life, guys, I'm just realizing, like, there's a lot of things that, you know, we just stopped doing in this country. And it's really, really frustrating. That's why I do these talks. So, for those guys who don't know, my name is Eric Wolken. I'm the Splendid Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a 100% American-made furniture company. We've got 11 employees. We ship furniture all over the country, and it can be done. Very difficult. You're not going to make a ton of money, and it's a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of dust, noise, whining customers, whining employees, fucking vendors, you know, trying to fuck you over. It's a lot of inflation. It's a lot of, you know, this not being available. Having to go find that. You know, this is fucked up. Got to fix it. There's a lot of problem solving and a lot of putting out fires, you know, but I think that America would be a lot better if we had a lot more people having their own companies, having to, you know, you're a lot more understanding of what people are dealing with when you have to deal with that shit every day, you know, so that's how I see it. So, all right, Chris Mizuno, Trump stopped releasing data on the board. Yeah, Chris, you're 100% right, man, you know, and damn him for doing that. Chris, that might be the best comment I've read all day. You're right. They've changed what, Trump changed what, oh God, they've got a name for it. It's gotaways, it's turnaways. I think they call them turnaways. There's people that come that they turn away. They've changed the definition of a lot of this stuff so that they can essentially say someone that they've turned away at the border, they consider that to technically be a deportation, which is really, really messed up. Like it's, Joe Rogan uses that word fuckery. Like that's what these guys are doing, and I don't like it. People changing the definitions of things, people changing how things are identified, how they're counted. Like they did a lot of this during COVID. It's a manipulation tactic, and it's very frustrating. So, okay, let's see. Chris says Biden deported more than Trump. Chris, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right, and I think that Biden will have deported more people than Trump probably will. Trump is a liar in chief, and again, 3-time Trump voter here. I think that Trump is a disgusting individual, and he is manipulating and lying and doing anything that he can to, like I said, manipulate the American people and deceive the American people, and it's super frustrating. So, Chris, I agree with most of what you're saying, man. I can't refute any of it. User tinfoil hat, great name, dude. Let's see. POTUS, Donald J. Trump is deporting criminal illegal aliens. I don't give a fuck about criminal illegal aliens. Here's the thing, user. If you deport all illegal immigrants that are here, guess what? The really bad ones are going to leave too. And if they don't, they'll get caught anyway because you're going after the ones that are just here illegally. If you scare businesses and you scare government entities and you scare all these people with the threat of deporting everyone that is here illegally, guess what? They'll leave. Here's an idea. Find the businesses. Here's another idea. Implement E-Verify. You knowingly hire a individual, legal or illegal, without using the E-Verify system. Guess what? You pay a $50,000 fine. The E-Verify system goes through Social Security, goes to the Department of Homeland Security, and goes to the FBI. Trump could do it. He won't do it because he wants these people. Everybody wants these people here because, again, Americans aren't having any kids. Americans aren't replacing themselves. Social Security is going bankrupt. Medicaid going bankrupt. Okay, you have to have people to replace the people that are getting these benefits. We're not doing it, so we're like, let's just bring all these fucking people in, because the dirty little secret about illegal immigrants is, guess what? They all pay taxes, but they pay taxes under false Social Security numbers. The federal government still gets the money. The state still gets the money. But you know what? The illegal immigrant doesn't get the benefits. The illegal immigrant will never see that Social Security. So yeah, anyway, so there you go. There's some truth for you. All right, Chris says Trump isn't deporting criminals, only 8%. Yeah, I don't know. Trump's deporting anyone. All right, Bud Russell, good to see you. U7S, there might be Biden flooding our country with millions of illegals. Yeah, Bud, I agree with you. But the dirty little secret about illegal immigrants is they're wildly useful. They're incredible workers. They don't really create a lot of trouble, and they're not entitled. Sorry guys, it's just the truth. Okay, user Triple Hat says, even Obama had more deportations than, yeah, Obama deported, I think the most, right? I want to say Dwight D. Eisenhower deported the most ever, but I could be wrong about that. But I think Obama's like right up there, like he's one of the top, which is crazy because Obama didn't run on deporting illegal immigrants. He ran on hope and change. Like Trump literally ran on mass deportations, getting all these people out of here, whether they're criminals or not. And he's just fucking moved the goalpost, That's nice. I really wish MAGA would fucking, hold their own accountable. That would be nice, but they never will. So, all right. Chris says Obama had more deportations than Trump. Yep, Chris, you're 100% right. All the people left. Yeah, I don't know if they left, but Obama definitely sent a message. So good for him. Use a typical hat. Turnaround. Yeah, turnarounds. Yeah, turnarounds at the border. Workforce deportations. So the stats are skewed off by millions. So you consider. Are you saying that turnarounds at the border were of course deportations as the stats are skewed off? So are you saying that turnarounds are deportations? Because I don't see it that way. I see these as people that came to the border and got turned around. They weren't deported. They were just fucking said, no, you can't come in. Get the fuck out of here. Or they were told, no, you can't come in. You need to go to another country, apply for asylum. And if you have legitimate asylum, you can come to America. Like, we'll help you out, But if you're just pissed off because your country fucking blows, like, sorry, you can't come here. Get smarter. Learn a skill that we can actually use here. And guess what? And that's the other thing. Like, I said, you guys have followed me for a long time. You guys know this, but I wanted to kind of add this caveat to this whole immigration debate. As a business owner, right, I'm always looking for good workers, okay? And I'm here to tell you guys, guess who is not a good worker anymore? Whitey. And we need to talk about this. We need to be honest about this. White people fucking suck in my industry. They're terrible furniture makers. They're terrible workers. They love drugs. They don't like to show up on time. They got tons of fucking family bullshit. Black people, same way. Fucking tons of family bullshit drama. Can't fucking learn anything. Don't want to be told that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Don't want to be told to dress better, talk better, act better, look better. Be respectful. We need to talk about the worker here in America. Guess what? Illegal workers don't have any of those problems. first generation immigrants don't have any of those problems, you know, and a lot of people don't want to hear this shit, you know. All I want to do is hire Whitey. I want to hire, you know, Tyrone, Blackie, whatever you want to call it. These are the people I would like to hire. These are the people that are in my area. But guess what? Most of them not fucking employable. You know, this is sad. This makes me sad as an American, because I feel like we as business owners, as Americans, we've done a really fucking piss poor job of teaching people how to work, how to show up on time, what work ethic is, doing your best, putting your best foot forward, treating people the way you want to be treated. These kind of basic things, we haven't done a good job of this, you know? So as an American, I would like to be able to hire, you know, Jose from Mexico. If I got an illegal worker, right, someone who wants a job, does a great job, I should be able to go to the federal government and say, you know what, federal government, this fucking guy, great worker. Great worker. Here's what I'm paying him. Here's his address. Here how long he's been here. Here's where he come from. Guess what? I want to get this guy a fucking visa, and I want to get him citizenship. Here's his taxes. Here's everything that I fucking paid him as long as he's worked here. Guess what? He's illegal. I want to make an American fucking citizen. We need a system like that. I'm sorry, we do. Nobody wants to do it. You know, so, right, sorry guys. You're gonna get all kinds of fun truths. Okay, Son says, flew in, I know Mayorkas let 10 million across the board. Yeah, so Son, during the Biden administration, they were literally flying in shit tons of people from South America, tons of them. And if you go on X, you can Google Biden illegal immigrant flights, and you'll see there's people that were taking videos at the airports, literally watching these people come in, you know, and these flights come in, and it's fucking bullshit, man. You know, you and I paid for that shit. You and I get less wages and less benefits because our own government flew these people into the country. It's fucked up. So again, this is why I was saying, as taxpayers, you guys pay to create the problem, and then you pay to fix the problem. And again, nobody, not you, not I, none of us can operate this way. Only the federal government can do this. And it's wildly frustrating. All right, Bud Russell says, Chris, you're not very bright, are you? Biden flooded our country with millions of, yeah. All right, so you guys got some kind of a debate going on there. That's good. Okay, POTUS is making it difficult for illegals to stay here. No EBT, no welfare, no medical care. Get the fuck out. I think that's good. And I think you're right. I think Trump is working on that, and I think that that's great. People that, and again, I believe in welfare. I believe in helping people, but you have to actually help them. You can't just give people money. The worst thing you can ever do, whether it's for someone you know or someone you don't know, even family, is to give people money. It's the fucking worst thing you can do, because it doesn't solve their problem. Right? You might help them for a day or two. You might help them for a week. You might help them for a month. But at the end of the day, they're not learning anything to help themselves, right? And this is the thing. Like, every time you guys listen to me, and I've said this, you need a public-private partnership, right? So if I live in a disadvantaged area with a bunch of fucking black people, don't know anything, they're all on fucking welfare, Section 8, you know, fucking robbing each other, stealing from each other, fighting with each other, all this kind of shit. If I want to hire these people, I should be able to say, you know what, I'm going to hire Tyrone, I'm going to hire Antoine, I'm going to hire, you know, whatever, you know, Will, I don't know what fucking black names are. I'm going to hire all these people, right? And I'm going to bring them into my business, and I'm going to teach them how to do some shit. Guess what? The federal fucking government or the state, you know what? They're going to pay half their salary, right? So if I'm going to pay Tyrone $20 an hour because he knows nothing, right? I'm going to teach him to show up on time. I'm going to show him where to go. I'm going to show him how to do things. I'm going to show him how to dress. I'm going to show him how to interact with people. I'm going to show him how to communicate with people within my business, not fuck up my culture, not fuck up my business, and give him a skill and a trade that he can then take on in his life to go do anywhere in America. I want a little bit of the risk involved with hiring that person, you know. And guess what? You give me that, I'll take a lot more chances on teaching these people. Now, here's the truth, guys. Half these people, minimum, are going to hack it. They don't have it upstairs in order to do it. They don't have it. And I don't know why. I don't know how you fix that part of the equation, but I do know that as a business owner, I would take a lot more chances on hiring these people if somebody would help me share the burden of them fucking up, of them stealing, of them coming to work high, of them coming to work on drugs, of them, you know, being on their phone all the time with their fucking baby mama drama bullshit. Okay? I would hire more people. I absolutely would. But until that happens, I'm not going to hire those people, because I've hired enough of them to know that they're not redeemable, not as employees. You know, and I want to see everyone succeed. I want to see these people win more than I want to see Whitey win. I want to see black people win so fucking bad it hurts my heart that these guys can't figure this shit out. That they're relegated to fucking Amazon jobs, working for the Postal Service, you know, working for fucking, you know, Waffle House. I think it's bullshit. This is the fucking jobs these people are relegated to doing. You know, so anyway. Well, you guys getting some good content there. Son says, good range, nice range. Yeah, right, son? Yeah, it's nice, all right. All right, see, Trump hates the Constitution. I don't think Trump knows what the fucking Constitution is. Bud Russell, U7S. Chris, go outside and test it. Yeah, some people need to do that. Trump ranked worst president ever by historians. Yeah, fuck the historians, man. I'm tired of the academics and the credentialed class. I'm fucking tired of all the experts, historians included. Like, go get a real job, motherfuckers. Trump's the worst president. I don't know if he's the worst president. He's probably the most corrupt president ever. You know, Biden, I don't think was a great president. Jimmy Carter was a horrible president. There's a lot of shitty presidents, you know, but you know, Trump's definitely the most corrupt as far as I'm concerned. Says amazing strategy to write up. Well, I don't know if it's a strategy, son. It's just my industry. Like, I'm always telling you guys, like, you guys need to come up with ways to write off your life. Write off your life. You know, like if I was going to buy a pickup truck, right? I'd buy a pickup truck so I could write it off on my business, right? It's got to weigh over 6,000 pounds, then I can write it off if I was going to buy a truck. If I was going to, you know, if I'm going to, you know, buy tools to work on my house, right? They're always going to be run through my business. Like, why do I have a business that allows you to write everything off for your house? If I buy wood, you think I've ever bought a piece of wood for my house that I didn't run through my business? You think I've ever bought a gallon of paint for my home that I didn't run through my business? Like, it all gets run through everything. You think when I go on vacation, I go on vacation to a place like, oh, let's go to Cabo. Like, no. I wait, go meet a customer. Maybe a customer has a problem with a piece of my furniture. Well, all my customers are rich. They all live in the nicest places in the world. Guess what? That's when I go on vacation. Like, this stuff isn't complicated, guys. Like the desk, like this, you know, this desk there is a Cherry Express, televisions, monitors, the computer, everything, all the software I use, everything. Look at the, you know, the credenza that I have, a diamond front credenza, right? I make all this stuff, you know, and I write it off. I run it all through my business. You know, it's all a write-off, everything. And, you know, it's not, like I said, it isn't rocket science, but this is what you have to do if you want to make it. You want to beat inflation. You want to beat your federal government fucking sticking it in your ass every year with inflation. You want to beat the Fed. You need to sell a product and create a product that always goes up with inflation. You think your salary goes up with inflation? No, it doesn't. Your salary might go up 3 to 5% a year. Inflation, the federal government's lied to you. They've told you, oh, inflation's only going up 3%. Inflation's only going up 4%. Fuck that. Inflation's gone up probably 100% since COVID. The cost of everything's gone up. Everything. There's not one thing you guys can name that's gone up 10%, 20%. Get the fuck out of here. You know, something on. Okay, guys, how are we doing on comments? Wow, you guys got a lot of comments. I'm a little bit behind. Okay, guys, I'm going to speed run through comments. I'm giving you guys almost 3 hours. I really appreciate everyone hanging out with me. It's been a long conversation. It's been a long time since I come back and done these talks. I will try to do more of them. I appreciate everyone spending the time. It means a lot to me when everyone, you know, puts in their comments and we kind of go back and forth. So I'm going to speed run through comments, guys. I'm probably going to get out of here. Let's see what we got here. All right, Chris Rizzuno says, prove Trump closed the border. Okay, well, I think we have net negative migration, so I think that's a good start. There, Chris. So, but you can double check on that one. But also says, Chris, maybe you should look at the website. Let's see, you didn't watch 23 million close the border. Okay, you guys are kind of talking back and forth. That's good. All right, use to about those historians are from institutions left of center. Of course, they claim Donald Trump is terrible, just like they swear. Obama stopped the rise. Yeah, I know. And user, I think you're 100% right. The academic and the credentialed class, they're told whatever they need to be told to get their funding, right? To get their paycheck. And generally, that payment either comes from states or the federal government. It never comes from you. It never comes from me. It comes from these large institutions that collect your guys' taxes, and they'll tell these people whatever they need to hear. You know. So again, I get very frustrated with the credentialed class. I'm a very anti-education person, not because I think education is bad, because I think that we've bamboozled society into thinking that, well, if you go to college, you must be smart. Like, that's not what happens. You can be a fucking idiot and have a bachelor's and a master's and a PhD and a doctorate, whatever. Some of the fucking most retarded people I know have crazy high degrees. So, okay, keep going. Chris, 3 million crossings, not 10 to 20 million. Yeah, Chris, I don't know, man. But I appreciate you put your comments in there. See, Trump didn't close. Okay, you guys are going back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna go through your guys' comments. See if anyone's got. This is liberal. Liberal is deranged. I can't say her name. Okay, Trump bad, me smart. Okay, great comment, dude. Orange man, I know everyone thinks Orange man bad. Trump has some redeeming qualities. Like I'm wildly frustrated. I voted for him 3 times. I've been a lifelong Trump supporter. Trump knows a lot about the furniture industry, which is my industry. But I feel betrayed by Trump, so I'll leave it at that. All right, me smart, Trump dummy. Okay. See, Big K Gaming 92. Owen Troy. Yeah, Owen Troy is awesome. I really like the guy. He's young. He seems to have his head on screwed straight. Apparently, he used to be with Alex Jones. I don't know much about his time there, but I like his message. I like his insights, and he seems to be fairly well-rounded on his information and his ideas. So, all right, libs are right about Iran. Libs are right more than the right. Okay, well, Chris, I don't know about that. I think you guys are all being propaganda. I think it's all just a ploy to get your tax dollars. That's it. Cut off the tax dollars, and then you'll really find out what people think about things, because they won't have that free, sweet money to just splash around to whoever they need to. All right, Mike Hunt, it's good to see you, dude. Mike Hunt, G1W. See, yeah, libs are so right about Iran and Obama giving $2 billion to Iran over 8 years, gave him a sunset for 225 to have a nuke to a suicide Islamic terrorist state, the largest terrorist state. Okay, I think what you're talking about. Bathy's sending it. Bathy, thank you. I appreciate that. I think Bathy's been here for a while. Again, Bathy, sorry, I've been around for a while. I've just been so busy with other things. I'm doing a cast tonight. Clearly, it's ended up being a long cast, so I appreciate everyone's gifts. Anyone sends anything, it's always nice. I want to make sure I acknowledge you as always. Okay. Let's see, you can play with the shit. This is simple. Go look at the federal website. Joe Biden's own department shows 25 million illegals unvetted. Wow, that's cool, Mike. I didn't know that. What's the Department of Homeland Security? Water for also Joe Biden deported 0.001%, basically 1%, basically 12 people actually got deported. Nobody got deported under Biden. Mike Hunt, Trump is fucking so easily blows his bullshit up in your face. Trump has a closed border. Anyone can fucking go see why, can read the fucking report. They can go see with their own eyes. Okay, Mike, well, I appreciate what you're saying. And I think you're right on most of what you're saying. Just because Trump closed the border doesn't make it better or worse than Biden. Because we have to understand, Biden never ran on closing the border, right? Biden never ran on any of that stuff. Trump literally ran on closing the border and mass deportations, getting the illegals out, putting America first, bringing manufacturing back, right? He ran on a lot of things. Biden ran on some things, but Trump literally, his whole identity is wrapped up in mass deportations and closing the border and how bad illegal immigration was during the Biden administration. We all, I think, would kind of agree on that, and he hasn't done it. He's closed the border, which is really easy. Mike, I would agree. Like, Trump's done a great job on this. But where Trump failed is Trump really, like, his identity is wrapped up in going after the deep state, going after these corrupt politicians. How come Trump didn't go after Alejandro Mayorkas? How come Trump isn't going after Joe Biden for doing this? Because every time Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, the director of the Homeland Security, went before Congress and testified that the border was secure, they lied. How come Trump hasn't went back and went after these people? He's not going to do it, because he doesn't want the people that are going to come after him to come after him for what he's done. And this is how government works, and it's again, Mike, it's very frustrating. Like I said, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, dude. I think you might be a little bit, skewed, but I mean, what you're saying, I don't think is inaccurate. So thank you, Mike. All right, see, that's 150K a day. Yeah, man, those numbers are insane, Mike. I think you're right. I think there was probably anywhere from 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants brought in here, and these are all people that are getting welfare. They're taking American jobs. They're reducing the wages for Americans. They are making our regulations, our rules and regulations, things like OSHA, EPA, transportation, tort, all these kind of things. They're making these rules and regulations only apply to the people that follow the rules. And that I think is a really bad thing, you know. So people don't talk enough about the regulatory side of illegal immigration. So, okay, Mike Hunter. Okay, Mike, we're gonna get a couple more of your comments. Let's see where we're at. I'll make sure I give everyone some time. Visual Sing, is it Visual Sing? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Visual Sing, YT001. What's your opinion on Spain's invasion? I don't give a fuck about Spain. I don't care. I think it's kind of interesting that the pundits, the people on Fox News, the people on X are all talking about Spain being invaded, all these people coming in, invading this country. America's been invaded for 20 years. Where's all the kerfuffle about that? You know, again, Trump was elected to literally work on this problem that Spain's dealing with right now, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, well, you know, Trump closed the border. You know, I don't give a fuck about Spain. I could care less. But Spain can be invaded by every fucking Muslim in the Middle East. I don't give a shit. Africa can come over there and invade Spain. Hell, they can take Spain. I don't give a shit. I want to worry about this country. I want the parasitic class thrown out of this country, and I want the useful and the smart and the intelligent people to be brought into this country, because America's about the best. We're not about helping all the poor and bringing people. Like, every time we go bomb, you guys notice, every time we go bomb a country, we end up with a whole fuck ton of their refugees. You guys ever notice that? You guys want to know why we have so many, you know, Arab people here? It's because we've fucking been bombing that whole region for 25 years, guys. You know, and again, I love Arab people. I think they're great. Hell, I married a woman who's from India. I've got a cabinet maker who's from Syria. You know, like, these people are great. What the fuck are we doing? So, I know. All right, Mike, one more comment. I was real manipulate. Joe Biden had the highest inflation in 40 years. You can almost confirm this. He had the highest price in 40 years, which didn't come down for. Yeah, Mike, I talked about this. Trump started the inflationary bubble by printing $7 trillion during COVID. And then again, Biden came in. The Democrats were super pissed that they didn't get to print all that money, because that's really what Democrats just love to fucking spend money. They don't like to really create much, but they love to spend money. Trump spent all that money, and Biden's like, fuck that, I'm going to go spend a bunch of money. And so he printed money on top of all the money Trump printed, right? And again, Trump printed this money when you weren't really allowed to work. Biden came in, printed a ton of money when people really weren't allowed to work. We're just kind of getting the economy going again. When you print a bunch of money, but you don't fucking make anything, guess what happens? Suddenly everyone's got money to buy everything, and then suddenly prices got to get raised to reduce the demand. And that's where inflation comes from. It's hard to have inflation without printed money, guys. It's hard to have inflation, right, when you make people earn the money that they receive. You know, so anyway, it's but Mike, you're 100% right. Joe Biden had 9% inflation, if I remember correctly, and he didn't give a fuck. He couldn't care less. He again egged on the Ukraine war, just like Trump has been egging on the Ukraine war. He instigated Russia. Biden is one of these old boomer fucks that believes that Russia is the boogeyman and will be the boogeyman forever. Trump, one of these old boomer fucks that believes that Russia will be the boogeyman always and forever. And, you know, this is what we got, you know, so it's a bad combination of things. All right, Little St. Jeff, good name, dude. Should civilians own nuclear weapons? Probably not, you know. I think most countries should probably have a nuke, though. It keeps countries, you know, what do they say? An armed society is a polite society. I like that concept. I like to think that we wouldn't be fucking with Iran right now. Israel wouldn't be fucking with Iran right now if Iran had a nuclear weapon. North Korea used to get fucked with. Then they got a nuclear weapon, right? So I tell the story all the time. North Korea got a nuclear weapon about the time Libya was trying to get a nuclear weapon. Well, Libya decided, you know, we're going to give up our nuclear weapons. North Korea is like, go fuck yourselves. We're going to get a nuclear weapon. What happened, right? North Korea is thriving in its own little dictatorship over there. No one fucks with them. Libya, failed state. Muammar Gaddafi, big fucking pole up his ass. People killed him. So nuclear weapons, you should get one if you can. All right, Andrew says Democrats marry their brother. Okay, great comment. So you can look up that Trump reached the lowest violent crime rate in the last 120 years. Fact of dispute, Trump lowered Biden's 9. Yeah, Trump created the inflation, Mike. Trump created the inflation. You give people tons of money and tell them to go spend it in an economy that isn't producing things, that literally creates inflation by reducing the amount of available products for people to buy and increasing the money supply to buy those products. The other way you increase inflation is that you print money, right? So the Fed, right, they essentially create a bunch of bonds. People buy those bonds. The Fed can then print money, right? The federal government says, hey, you know what? Our budget's going to be $5 trillion, but we need to buy the boomer votes. We need to buy the poor people's votes. And oh yeah, corporations need large corporate taxes while they fucking send all the jobs to China. We got to pay for all that too. So we're going to need to print another $2 trillion because it's hard to buy votes when you essentially make people pay for their own shit. Easy to get people to vote for you when you promise them free shit, whether that's tax cuts or welfare or retirement or Medicare, Medicaid, these kind of things, you know. So anyway, it's literally both parties creating the inflation. It's not Trump's fault alone. It's not Biden's fault alone. And that's kind of how I see it. You know, you guys can completely disagree with me. Like Chelsea Clinton, 2020. Chelsea Clinton, boy, oof, that chick's rough looking. All right, Biden go back to Biden go look at this Biden's national gas average. 4 years gallon was 478 4 fucking years. Go look it up. Trump's average 348. If you even get out of the... Okay, well, Mike, so I agree with you. But here's what you're not thinking. Okay, so the reason gas went up so expensive with Biden was because of the Ukraine war. So during the Ukraine war, when Russia invaded Ukraine, it shot oil up to $150 a barrel, right? When it went to $150 a barrel, the cost of gas went up over $4. Diesel was up over $5. I know this because I'm a shipping company. It got very expensive. Okay, now Trump is essentially doing the same thing in the Middle East with Iran, right? Except the difference between Ukraine and Iran is that Iran actually controls the Strait of Hormuz, which has 20% of the world's energy movement and a shit ton of fertilizer, by the way. Ukraine does nothing, has nothing to do with any of that. In fact, our CIA actually blew up Nord Stream, right, which made a whole bunch of problems for Europe. And they did this with the idea that it would get Europeans to push back against Russia because of the high cost of energy. That didn't happen. Okay, the real question, Mike, is why, if Ukraine if Iran has such a stranglehold on the energy markets, why is oil trading at $84 a barrel instead of $150 when the Ukraine war happened? Okay, this is kind of a conundrum, you know, and the theory is that Trump is manipulating the markets, whether it's through the strategic oil reserves throughout the world, right, or it's the speculative AI trading bots that trade on the futures market for the oil industry. I don't know which it is, but Mike, your facts are right, but you're leaving out a lot of the nuance behind why a lot of these things happen. And again, I'm not an expert, guys, but that's just kind of how I remember it and how I saw it when it was happening. So, all right, okay, guys, I'm gonna go through a couple more comments, guys. I need to get here. Mike, I really appreciate all your comments. I can't get to all of them. I'm sorry, dude. I want to make sure I respect other people's time and get to them. Glenn Sharp, G4X, Joey the Potted Plant. Okay, great comment, dude. Let's see, we got Bathy's there. Bathy, good to see you. Glad you're here. And I appreciate your gift, Bathy, as always. Glad you're here, Mike. Okay, Mike, sorry, I can't go through all your comments. JP, EV6UN, Free Palestine. Yeah, I don't know about Free Palestine, but how about we just stopped killing all those people? I don't think that's really sad. Okay, the people of the world stand with Iran. I don't know if the people of the world stand with Iran, but I certainly stand with Iran in this case. I hate to say that because I'm an American. I signed up for the Army when I was 21 years old, and I'm disgusted with what our country is doing, this whole Middle East thing. But we don't need to go into that. Okay, so it says, left your only strategy is to print money. It never works. And they always have a plate with a new idea. It's just, yeah, what if we... Yeah, and again, we had, remember said we had TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program. You had that bank in San Francisco that went tits up here like 2 years ago And again, all the people were going to lose their money, but the fucking Fed stepped in and bailed them out. It was one of those AI companies, like Silverbank. I forget the name of it. You had the Great Financial Crisis. The bank stepped in, bailed out General Motors, bailed out AIG, just bailed out all kinds. I mean, everyone fucking got bailed. COVID, right? They shut down the economy, sent all of us. They sent my company tons of money. They sent all of us money. It's always a bailout. It's never a depression. It's never a recession, which is what we need. We need all these speculators to fucking go bankrupt. We need the tech companies to go bankrupt. We need these large multinational conglomerates to get crushed by tariffs and start making shit here in America, hiring Americans, teaching Americans how to do shit. And as long as we put money, no, that's going to happen. Okay, CJP says, Israel is the sixth eye and uses Palantir to watch over the people. Yeah, the head of Palantir is kind of an interesting dude, man. The United States is sinking because the damn Zionist elite is taking their capitalist system and leveling fascism. They are planning a third world war. I don't know, man. I'm one of these guys. I think we need a good world war. I really do. All right, see, June Bannister, the Great Trump Depression is coming. We need a depression. Like, I don't, it's a terrible thing to say, and I'll probably lose my business. We need to clear out the forest. I'm sorry, guys. It needs to happen. All these bullshit companies, these multinational conglomerate companies that fucking make nothing. They use third world for everything. They got to go. We need more American businesses, more small business, more family-owned business, more people, hiring people in their community, teach people in their community how to do shit. And if everyone goes to college and learns about fucking, physics and, gets their business degree, and we get, the fucking 100 millionth psychologist degree, we, more basket weaving and history degrees. The more we do this, the more we're in trouble, guys. Okay, but I appreciate your comment, June. Thank you very much. Ray the Fairy, JP, what's up, brother? You landed here from All Fail First Stream. Okay. So you saw Solid Seashells. Great name. Do you think Bigfoot might be misunderstood? Maybe he just was one small foot. I don't know, Saul, but I'm from Oregon, man. Bigfoot's up there, right? Got a bunch of family in Washington. Sasquatch is on our neck of the woods. Okay, all right, Ray the Fairy, that's never going to happen, bro. If the big tech companies actually go under, then the U.S. will go under because the federal government will bail them out. If they end up failing, it's all... Yeah, but the federal government bails everyone out. And again, that's my problem with what we're doing. We always bail everyone out, right? Everyone's too big to fail unless you're a middle-class worker, right? It's too big to fail. If you bought a home, right? Say you bought a home for whatever, $200,000. Your insurance keeps going up. Your property taxes keep going up. Your salary isn't going up consummate to those factors, right? Your insurance keeps going up. All these costs keep going up. Well, eventually, you're not going to be able to afford that home, right? And then what's going to happen is the state's going to take, because you're not paying your property taxes. If you don't pay your income taxes, well, then the federal government's going to put a lien on that property. And guess what? You're not going to own that property. You're going to own nothing. And they just keep pricing you guys out of the American dream, out of the regular, ordinary, average, middle-class formula. They keep pricing all of you out. And when you bail these big companies out all the time, you print money forever. This is what happens. The asset holders, people that own all the shit, their assets keep going up, right? They keep protecting their source of revenue, right? The appreciated assets and the income-producing assets. They own all that shit, right? And the people that are building those assets, right, the people that build homes, they can't build them fast enough to keep people like BlackRock and, Vanguard from buying up all the homes that are being built and creating the scarcity that causes the price of everything to go up, making everything unaffordable. I get... Sorry, guys. That's a long-winded. Okay, 2 more comments, guys. I'm out here. All right, Rate the Fairy. Small federal government, small business friendly. Yeah, and again, this is it. The federal government needs to be shrunk down. Again, we can still pay this large amount of taxes, whatever, $5 trillion in taxes that we're paying every year. We can still pay that, but we need to carve off $3 trillion of that and give it back to the states. Let the states deal with the money. Let the states compete for residents. Let the states compete with benefits, with jobs, with industries. Get the fucking federal government out of it. Because what's happening is all the states are all going to the federal government to do what all the federal government wants them to do. And that means that the states are anti-competitive. They're uncompetitive. They're just doing what the federal government wants. And this is a massive problem. You know, I don't know how we get that money out of the federal government, because the federal government needs to, you know, you need a military, you need a courts. You know, the federal government is bloated. The whole democratic process that we have here with the representatives and the senators, I would even say that a lot of that is antiquated. We could still keep the system that we have here, but we don't need this massive, you know, Washington, D.C. bullshit. You know, the District of Columbia. Get rid of that shit. In the days of the internet, you don't need that shit. You don't need all the, you know, the expense accounts, the fucking politicians with their army of people that work for them that you all pay for. We don't need all that shit. I'm sorry, we don't. It needs to go. You know, the fucking representatives, they can stay in their states. They don't need to all go to Washington to wheel and deal, which is basically where they all go to get paid off behind closed doors. You know, so get rid of it. All right, June Bannister, K. Garcia, you need to take the money out of our politics of billionaires, own everything, including our punches. Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, say it when you won't. Last comment. Do you know blacks killed over 50,000 people last year alone in America? Well, I don't really give a shit. Black on black crime is a fucking travesty. The fact that we don't even talk about it is bullshit. We only talk about it when a white guy kills a black person. You never talk about when a black guy kills a white person. You never talk about when a black person kills a black person, because ultimately no one gives a fuck about black people. Like, they just, you know, they've been relegated to fucking entertainers and, you know, being athletes and fucking comedians and singers and shit. And that's it. You know, and it's fucking sad. It's really sad. Because they got a lot more to offer this this country. They could do a lot more. They were given a lot more opportunity, and people would take more chances on them, you know. But it is what it is, you know. So, all right, Russell Dixon. Wow, Russell Dixon, I was just about done, but since you're here, dude, I will read your comment. Thanks for being here, Russell. Again, sorry I haven't done my chats in a long time. I really wanted to say hi to everyone and, you know, do some kind of an update for you guys. Russell Dixon says, Pentagon audits are the worst. There's no Pentagon audit, man. DOD hasn't passed a full audit in 7 or 8 years at this point. They just asked for $1.5 trillion without having passed a full audit, which is fucking lunacy, if you ask me. But Russell, I did an audit with Raytheon when I worked for Global Engineering Technology back in Wichita, Kansas, in probably, I don't know, the mid to late 2000s, you know, like 2009, 2010, something like that. And the audit wasn't a big deal. Like the guy from Raytheon, the auditor, he literally came in and he looked at all our bill of materials for what was called, oh my God, what was called a Raytheon Beechcraft King Air, which is a turboprop, I think it's an 8-seater private jet, private plane. And he literally went through, he looked at a bill of materials that probably had, whatever, 150 different line items on it. And he just looked for the most expensive, like things like, you know, heat-treated I-beams and, you know, electrical components from companies like Rockwell Collins and stuff like that. And he literally just looked at those line items. And he, you know, he looked at like 6 things and he's like, okay, well, show me your invoices for these so we can see exactly what, you know, you're paying for these products. And let's look at some of your certification docs to make sure that you're actually buying these things. And the certifications meet all of our FAA requirements. Like it really wasn't that big of a deal. So the fact that the federal government or the Department of Defense can't pass one of these audits just blows my mind, you know. And I'm sure it's a little bit more involved than what I dealt with in general aviation, but it can't be much more complicated, you know. So anyway, okay, billionaire class sucking all the remaining capital out of the middle class. 100%. Ray the Ferry, you're 100% right. I couldn't agree more. Russell says, welcome back. Russell, thanks, dude. And again, I'll try and do more. Again, I did 3-hour cast tonight. That's all I can do tonight. I appreciate everyone that come and shot the shit with me and listen to Eric run his mouth about politics and business and what society needs. And I love going through all you guys' comments. And again, I'll try and do my cast again more regularly. And I need this. I really need to be able to, you know, vent. And it's very cathartic. And I like it. And I hope it's good for you guys as well. So you guys have a good night. We got a new week coming up and a lot of cool things coming. Got a kitchen remodel going on. I need to show you guys some of that stuff. A lot of cool furniture build. I got a walnut coffee table that I'm building. I got some cool drink tables that I'm building. I'm learning my CNC router. I'm getting better on that thing. And I got a new cabinet maker, you know, so I got 2 cabinet makers now, including myself. So I guess that makes 3. So yeah, there's a lot going on. You know, we're training new people to prime. We got new sanders in the shop. I said, looking to buy a new business in Florida, you know, so it's just a lot going on, guys. So I really appreciate